Hey, shit, my bad. Hell, I'm sitting there trying to do two things at once. What's up, y'all? I'm just dropping in for a real quick fucking hangout video, whatever. Um so the point of this video is to point to the two gentlemen that I respect over here on YouTube on this end of it, I should say. Haven Bullets and New Possibility. Now, the reason why this is going to be more of a discussion, it won't be a roast, because those guys are men of peace. You know, they don't conduct themselves in that manner as far as their interaction with me. Um, and of course, if it was my enemies, this would be a roast about how wrong they were, how their intellect is lacking, how they come from two other stupid motherfuckers, so forth and so on. But this won't be like that for them because that's just not how they conduct their video activity here on YouTube. But they are wrong. They are wrong. They are wrong. Haven Bullets and New Possibility, specifically, and those who share their sentiments are wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. This blaming black people for the Trump presidency is wrong. Using Bill O'Reilly, a consistent racist liar, as your whatever the fuck, is wrong. He doesn't do anything that works in the benefit of blacks, and so his numbers, anything coming from a racist, is more than likely a lie. You can't call Bill O'Reilly a Confederate Klansman one day, and then on Friday you say, "Hey, look what Bill said." So, but even if what he's saying is true, 1 million less black people showed up to the polls, then there's a million black people, and not every black person is on some self-righteous or some black righteous. I'm not going because of shit. It's some black motherfuckers that didn't go. It's some black motherfuckers that didn't vote for Obama. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about those who said I'm not participating in this process because it's historically racist, it's ineffective. Those are the black people that I want to apply. Not every goddamn body has the brain of a revolutionary or seeks to participate in the revolution. So, black people are not beholden to anything in America. We don't owe either party shit. America owes us. So if we decide to sit out an election because two motherfuckers are rotten to the core, then you cannot blame black people. The people who betrayed Hillary is the white woman. White women voted for Trump. They betrayed Hillary. We don't owe Hillary shit. She has not done anything for us. Who the fuck says that a victim of rape and molestation owes their molester or owes the cousin of their molester? I mean, give me a fucking break. She has actively campaigned for the imprisonment of black children. She called us, because this happened when we were children. I'm talking about 80s babies. She called us super predators. That fucking raised the flames to imprison us, treat us and try us like adults, give us adult sentences. She didn't look to solve the problems that create these air quotes here, super predators. She just did like white people do, heavy on the hammer on the head of the black male when it comes to law and order. There is no, hey, what caused this problem? It's fuck what caused it. Go to prison. Get the chair. All types of shit. We don't owe that bitch shit. If she wants to cry, the bitch needs to cry to white women. Because we're talking about the million blacks that stayed home. But what about those whites that voted for Trump? It's not black people that make or break an election. She needs to be mad that the bitch did not run a for real campaign. She thought she could walk to the White House. She didn't campaign for our votes. What did she do that would guarantee us going up and showing her our support as black people? 40 plus million black people. What did she do? She would barely talk to the Black Lives Matter motherfuckers, and they're full of shit. So she wouldn't even talk to the fake black people. She has no interest in pandering for our vote. She thinks that it is owed to us because we're fucking idiots to her. She didn't roll out no shit talking about, hey, you know what? You motherfuckers are dying of AIDS. Here's the Negro AIDS program. She didn't say shit. She thought she could just walk into it because Barack Obama said so, that we would just come in and vote for the bitch. We're just going to ignore the generations of black people that she ruined. Her and her husband ruined black people. And then 20 years later, they got the fucking nerve to just say, oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you're right. That was fucked up. When her husband was campaigning in front of black prisoners, talking about he's going to be tough on crime, he was telling white people, I'm locking niggers up. Just because I'm a Democrat, niggers don't get a free pass. This was the shit that the bitch okayed, profited from, benefited from, enjoyed. And we're supposed to just roll out in droves because that bitch is a Democrat? Man, fuck her and fuck Trump. This big boogeyman spooky bullshit about Trump is ridiculous. What the fuck is he going to do that we have not experienced under Barack Obama? What I'm talking about is what's new. Is he going to ramp up gentrification? Well, gentrification happened under Obama. What is he going to do that's new? We're still going to prison at, unholy amounts of numbers. There's still private prisons who make deals with states that guarantee that they will fill the prisons or they will move out. The states comply. And who do they fucking stuff their prisons with? You guessed it, black people. So how much worse can it get? This doomsday prophecy, I just don't understand. And actually shaming people for not voting, saying that it's your fault, look what you did, is fucking irresponsible. It's irresponsible. Now, as far as Haven's videos with Boyce Watkins and Tariq, well, no, he didn't do Tariq shit. He did Dr. Umar. Now, when it comes to that, the point that Haven has that you can't dispute is Haven is pointing out that they are backtracking. On that point alone, his videos are valid. Because you can't talk about don't vote, telling motherfuckers not to vote, and then say, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't say you not to vote. You can't fucking do that. So that's my point to the whole situation. You know, black people have been voting and shit hasn't happened. And so what Haven and what New Possibilities is doing is saying, keep on trucking, keep on keeping on. And that's the attitude and mentality that has us in this cyclical process of misery. We need to try something different. Dr. Claude Anderson, who I've referenced in my previous video, he is the father of making your black vote count. He is the king of that shit, and he is right on the money. We need to withhold our votes and bring up our own politicians if you want to participate in the process. I'm saying that that solution is twofold. Spend your money with your own people. Make your neighborhoods where your people are, make them better, make them count, give a fuck about them, and buy guns. So do all of that, get all your politicians, get you a pistol. Because we're not dealing with peaceful people. Our enemies are werewolves. And if you think a piece of paper is going to keep them from ripping out your fucking heart, you're crazy. That's why Black Wall Street failed. That's why Rosewood failed. That's why Harlem is failing. All of that. Because black people are scared to defend themselves. They think that paper money and paper ballots is going to protect them when you're dealing with monsters. It doesn't work. So yeah, get your money right. Get your aim right. That's my point to my fucking people. So all of this voting and shaming people for not voting, all of that is horse shit. It's actually disrespectful to critical thinking. And my brothers, Haven Bullets and New Possibilities are incorrect. 1 million black people, the race shouldn't have been so tight. Blame that bitch. Don't blame black people for saying, hey, I don't want shit souffle or a shit loaf. Don't blame black people for that. That we decided that, hey, you know what? What fucking difference does it make? If anybody's votes do not count, it's ours because we are not properly participating in the process. Say that 3 times fast. You can't just show up and vote and think you're going to change if you don't have money. Money is the name of the game. Money is king of the hill. If you don't have a politician that eats off of you, that pays his bills because of you, you will be betrayed. You will be played. Period. That's why motherfuckers talk this. Oh, Barack Obama, he can't do everything. Barack Obama got judges into fucking office with severe Republican resistance. Obamacare came with severe, intense Republican resistance. Gay marriage, all of this shit. He didn't do shit for black people because one, he's a traitor. Two, because we didn't participate and hold him accountable. Barack should have had one term. And black people should have said, hey, man, you fucked us over. All this change shit, because you ran on change, you betrayed us. And so, yeah, you know what? We're going to sit home and we're going to watch Mitt Romney walk in the office because you played us. And that would have sent a message to all politicians of the future. But instead, we let him play us, and we're going to complain to Trump when Trump is Trump, and Trump is going to say, shut up, nigger! You didn't make that motherfucker do shit for you, and I ain't one of you. So shut up. That's what we've done. We don't play the game appropriately. The shit is fucked up. We are losing, and you have motherfuckers wanting to participate in the same losing game plan. If voting caused us or got us an inch, I'd be all for it, because I'm like, hey, 1 inch plus it can go to 2 inches, can go to 200 inches. But it hasn't gotten us shit because we're not playing the game the way everybody else is playing it. You don't see Arabs telling other Arabs, get out and vote, because they do it with their money. They have people in place that know what time for the Arabs or whoever the fuck, and they make sure they write the check. And people don't betray Arabs. And Arabs ain't even a half of what we are in this country. They might not even be a 10th, but they hold more clout in America than we do. And they've only been here, what, 70, 80 years, maybe? We've been here 400. Oh, man. My man in the streets, he says, 100. I'm like, man, how much for his own? Man, blah, 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 100. Oh, that's funny. 400. Anyway, so we're not playing the shit the way we're supposed to do it. And I just can't believe that I'm seeing so much ignorance, and it's a lack of black self-respect. We cannot talk about a system that lets the murderers of black children walk and then say, go out and vote, and then trust the system in that aspect. It's completely rotten. It's completely corrupt. It's completely broken. You can't pick and choose what levels or what you expect on this end and that end. It's all fucked up. So approach it differently so you can completely change it. But just voting just because you can, that's ridiculous. Spending money just because you got it is foolish, right? So why the fuck would you waste something that actually costs black blood, sweat, and tears? Why would you waste it? It's something you should cherish. I'm not going to waste the efforts of my ancestors on some motherfucking white supremacist. I'm not going to do it. Because what is a white supremacist going to do to black people? Dun, 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 dun. Drum roll, goddammit. They're going to betray us. Let's look at this chat. Let's see. Eric Smith, what up? E Money, Silent J, what up? 510, what's up? Black AP, what's up? SC's back, what's up? UKDQ, People Skills, Mystic Queen, Lamar and Mills share intimate moments. I damn near want to give you a wrench for that. So, Sofa, what's up? Cybertron Nubia, what's up, girl? Victor Moan, what's going down? Damon Jones, what's up? Let's see. Any new people? Beasley, what up? Let's see. Never Lacking. Miss Unknown. I think I got our news. Duran, what's up? Worry Free, what's up, girl? Anybody new? Looking for some new shout outs. MJ23, let's see what you wrote. You wrote a paragraph, motherfucker. Facts, the defeated mentality is the number one reason why our elders failed our generation, and it's the reason why recent generations are made up of primarily coons. But hashtag the black community is fucked. I can get behind that. Let's see. Mystic Queen, you wrote a paragraph. Mystic too funny to be a girl queen. 1983. Oh no, they noticed how black vote counted in the election because Hillary was 50-50 with Trump. Democrats got a wake up call, nigga. They will campaign hard next year. That's probably something I can do. That's something I can do. Hey, Beezy, I'm gonna send you the link. Cocoa Butter, what's up? I don't ever put my trust in me. However, I voted out of respect for what our ancestors sacrificed for the right to vote. Cocoa Butter, that's an awful level of reasoning. If you really respected your ancestors, you wouldn't waste the vote because that's what you did ultimately. And you say you don't trust a man, you're a religious person, so odds are your intellect has a lid because sooner or later you're going to tell me that a dolphin and a lion shared the same arc, shared the same boat ride. So sooner or later, you're going to turn off your brain and you're going to go into that level of thinking. So that's how I look at religious people now. Doesn't make you a bad person, but that's just, I put you in that compartment. Any religious person, sooner or later, you're going to tell me that the Tower of Babel was real. And I mean, give me a break. Beasley, I'm going to send you this link. Trollfather, what up? V-Dub, what's up? I can't read. I want to read the chat, but then I'd be here all day. Leilani, what's up? All right, I'm gonna put the link out right here in the thing because if y'all slam it, y'all slam it. Hold on, let me see. This Trollfather said something. Yo, Chris, is Cliff still after me for my last video? Trollfather, I don't know. I mean, I haven't. Shit, I have no clue. Let me get that link. I'm gonna put it in the chat so anybody wants to talk to your shit, they can come up here, and if you slam it. It's better for me, actually. Shit, you know what? This will be the first time that I lightweight wouldn't mind y'all crashing this bitch because I'm giving y'all a piece of me for the day, but I got shit to do. So I'm actually postponing real life to make this video. I just had to. I was compelled to. All right, it's in the chat. Anybody can click it. Enjoy yourself. Is Lamont Jones here? I heard somebody say howdy, Lamont. Oh, Lamont Jones is here. What up? So yeah, and again, I'm just like I said, a gentleman's disagreement with my brother's new possibility in Haven Bullets. They're just wrong.
Dude?
Black people are not to blame for the outcome of this election. It's not like the Clintons have been, just angels to black people and we owe our vote to them. And it's not like we should be using our votes out of fear. I mean, that shit is ridiculous. Oh shit, the boogeyman. We can't let the boogeyman in, boss. I mean, give me a fucking break, man. Hell no. He's not going to do anything. At worst is turn up the heat. And you know what's crazy? We don't understand what time it is. We can't take it when it's decent. At worst is turn up the heat. And who jumped in here? Hold on, let me see. We don't understand. Oh, we got Victim on intro. Fucking Beasley. What's going down?
Man, look, you got you know what I'm saying? You got niggas feeling good in the morning.
Shit, hey, put your pants on, Vic. I know how you play. Put your pants on.
I had my shirt off, so I'll put it back on. But yeah, man, look, what you preaching right now, and the key word is preaching right now, is some shit that I was saying like for over the past year about black people and voting and involving yourself in the system. It goes like this. You got two Klansmen, right? Two Klans members. Okay, running for office. As a black man, which one do you vote for? That's a goddamn riddle. Okay, the answer to the riddle is you're not supposed to vote for either one. They're fucking Klansmen. Okay.
This stupid motherfucker.
How do you go to the polls and say, okay, I'm gonna vote for David Duke or Willie Lynch? Fuck it, I'll take David Duke. Nice.
You know what, fucking Vic? I gotta give you props for finding two white supremacists for that scenario. Good job, because I thought you would stop at David Duke. I would have bet hard money you'd have said David Duke and bailed out. You came up with Willie. You came up with Willie Lynch. I give you that.
I'm just saying, which one do we vote for though? You get me?
How's he over here kissing your ass and giving you props when his YouTube daddy talks all kind of crazy shit to you? You know you're gonna get in trouble.
Wait a minute, your YouTube daddy talk shit to you? You take
No. I am a YouTube daddy.
Oh no, you ain't no YouTube daddy.
Let me tell you why I'm a YouTube daddy. Because I name motherfuckers.
No, you lost them privileges, B. You told on yourself.
No, I name
You told on
motherfuckers.
yourself too much, man.
I name motherfuckers. You dirty bum. You dirty shiftless bum. You are the reason why they created the crime bill.
Oh, fuck.
To lock up ignorant ass stupid motherfuckers like you worthless shiftless piece of shit. You lint pocket nothing nigga. You are not shit. You ain't never been about shit, Vic. You couldn't show.
You're talking to me.
No. Let's make it real clear.
I know you're talking
You couldn't show $20. Your wife looks like a walrus mixed with a manatee mixed with a fucking hippopotamus. Your little girl's cute though. How's Vivi though?
Oh, she's fantastic. But I want you to put logic on some of the things you say. Okay.
Logic, bitch. Shut up. Stop talking to me, you stupid.
Hold on. Wait. We're gonna put some logic to it.
Stop talking to me, you stupid motherfucker.
Well, you shouldn't have talked.
You are not going to spread your stupidity on me.
If you don't want me to respond,
you're stupid. Vic, you're stupid.
You know, I'm just saying.
Hold on a second, Vic. We're gonna ask the chat room a question. I'm gonna let you talk. I've been coming for you.
Now we know to be fact, Beasley, that ugly people cannot make a pretty child.
Vic.
So for you to say that my wife is ugly is actually incorrect. My daughter should be ugly then. You see,
Vic,
but you just called
everybody's seen your wife.
The reason why I say you're no longer a YouTube daddy is because last night you went on the bus stop and openly admitted that when you were growing up, you were one of those little kids that like to duck and hide and survive. That you
I grew up in Los Angeles. Hold on. No.
Oh, I heard.
Hold on a second.
I heard you, baby. You said,
Vic,
growing up, you used to be one of those little kids to make sure that you made it.
You can't shame me.
So you ain't no daddy, baby. You lost those privileges last night.
Nigga, I grew up in Los Angeles when they were shooting at each other in the motherfucking 6th grade. I grew up around,
so you wasn't out there
around killers.
You were running. I mean, we get that. You weren't out there being a pimp. You wasn't out there profiling. You wasn't out there on the tough road. Nigga, you
up, nigga. Let me tell you something, nigga, about a crib. Nigga, cowards running back, nigga. Nigga, I'm from Inglewood, nigga.
Don't get mad when I wrote
Inglewood, bitch ass nigga. I'm from Inglewood, nigga. Hyde Park and Centinela, nigga.
Right, and you were ducking.
I would slap the glasses off of your bitch ass.
Sure, you was in the house. You admit it.
Inglewood Family Gang, nigga. Inglewood Family Gang, nigga Avenue.
You ain't in no gang. You don't break that last night. Matter of fact, you were so scared of the gang that when you saw Break's photo up there, it gave you a flashback. Nigga. It gave you a goddamn flashback. How the fuck does what another man posts on his fan page affect you like that?
Now let me tell you.
Oh yeah, tell me.
I'm trying to look out for the youngster because the boy young, dumb, and act like he got sense, but he don't. Vic, you are.
Who you talking to?
You are an asswipe in life.
Are you serious?
I'm talking to an idiot.
Oh no,
I'm talking to
I'm talking to somebody that acts like when they get in these hangouts that this shit ain't public, that this shit ain't for the world, Craig.
I don't really, Vic. Let me tell you this between me and you. I don't give a fuck. I'm never gonna go. I'm never gonna get on here. I'm never gonna get on here and explain shit.
I'm your friend.
Like you explained your dirty ass carpet. Like you explained everything else.
A carpet can be replaced.
Your wife.
Your nuts, your heart.
Okay, that's putting you out of that raggedy ass $10 house.
Your heart is priceless. A carpet can be replaced. Your heart is priceless, my nigga.
Nigga, I got nice fly king carpet. What kind of car you got, broke ass nigga?
We know what kind of car you got, and you made sure that you got.
What kind of car you got?
I noticed how you said you from England. You ain't living in it. You got the hell on.
You fool.
It was time to go.
You bust past bitch. What kind of car you got, nigga?
Yeah, look, you get away from the hood to get tough and say, yeah, I made it out.
Nigga, because I can afford to get out the hood.
That don't count. That don't count, Beasley. That don't count.
Dick, you broke ass nigga. You're stupid.
Don't get mad over some shit.
I'm not mad, but let me just ask.
Why does this always happen?
Let's just ask the chat room a question.
Some shit.
Is everybody? Oh my!
Hold on. Hey, Vic. Your voice is a weapon, man.
No.
Listen, hey, Victor. Hold on. let Beasley ask the chat a question, then you can have the flow. It's got to be one at a time, though. So Beasley, what the fuck you want to ask the chat?
I want to just put your ones up. If Vic is a fucking idiot.
No, we don't use single digits. The idiots have stolen the single digits. So
all right.
Pick another
so
number.
If Vic is an idiot, put up a 6-6.
Yeah, whatever makes you feel good in the morning, Beasley.
Okay, so he's asking the chat if you think Vic. Hold on, Vic, and then you get to ask the chat a question. All right, chat. If you think Vic is an idiot, according to Beasley, type 66. Let us know. Is Vic an idiot?
Get your kicks on Route 66. 99. Vic, you're an idiot. In case you didn't know it. And the sad thing is, look at that. Look at the people. They're speaking.
Beasley, you need those people. I don't need those people, Beasley.
I don't need them. I'm trying to let you know.
Right. Oh my God.
In fact, we're gonna just start to call you.
Didn't say
we're gonna start.
I can't talk to Vic. Let me go to the chat room for support. Support him, y'all. Support him. Give him support. He needs help right now. Put up more 6s. Put up 100 6s. All right.
Hey, Vic, you got a problem.
Right, Vic Damone. Wait a minute, hold on. Right, Vic Damone is an easy and say, Beasley, you're the man. Beasley needs support. Say, Beasley, you're the man. Beasley, you're the shit. Beasley, every joke you say is so hilarious. Oh, Beasley, you're so. He needs you, Beasley.
Vic.
Beasley, you could never stand on your own, my nigga. You could never do it. And today is no different than yesterday.
Vic, I stand on my own.
Different than yesterday.
Razor Ramon.
But Vic,
all right, today is no different than yesterday, Beasley.
Vic,
all you do is press on.
Victor, let him ask you a question, and then you can ask him a question. So Vic. Hold on, Vic.
I stand on my own in real life, and I stand on my own out here in these YouTube streets and BTR streets.
Oh my God!
The truth of the matter is, Vic. The truth of the matter is, you've always had somebody like to walk you through this shit and to pay your way. Whether it be Tyrone, now you have an abusive stepdaddy in Lamar who beats you, chastises you, talks about your wife, and you go running back to him like your name is Snowflake.
Hey, did you just say you stood alone?
You go running back to him.
When did you stand alone?
I'm standing alone right now.
Well, that was today, because yesterday you were down with the bus stop. You joined that side.
No, let me tell you something, nigga.
Hold on, Beasley, let him talk. Let him talk.
Go ahead, Vic. Because I was there, Chris was there, we were all there. We were all fucking there, Beasley.
Hold on.
Hold on, Vic. Join a cyber gang, nigga. Are you serious?
Vic, stop.
And say you stand alone. Nigga, how long you been down with the bus stop? How?
Okay, listen. It's got to be one at a time, fellas. I muted both of y'all. It has to be one at a time. One at a time. So, Vic, I'm gonna give you the floor. You make your statements. None of your bad guy Vic laughs. You have to talk. You can't say all right. You can't say none of that. So you can talk like a regular person. Unmute yourself, Vic.
Thank you, Lord Drayton. Now to keep it simple for the fans, for the people,
and get to the point either. I can't let you gas bag us either. So make a straight line with your words.
Yeah, man, but you can't cut somebody off.
I won't cut you off. I'm going to cut you off when I feel like you're putting up your gas in it. So straight line is all I'm asking.
All right. Now, for those that don't know, Chris you don't know either. Real talk, you don't know. But me and Beasley have known each other for over my entire YouTube career. So that's about 3 years. I've known Beasley long before he even got on BTR. He's a follower, okay? I asked him years ago, Chris, and this to you. I asked him years ago. I said, Beasley, why don't you do your own shit like you doing, Chris? You follow me? Like how you got your own shit set up right here? I asked Beasley, why didn't he do his own shit years ago? He said he would never know what to talk about. And as we fast forward, we're going into 2017. Beasley, you've always been a follower of somebody. First, you jumped on the bandwagon of TRS and me. Then you went to the wood grain side. Hell, you jumped the bandwagon to Mike Mills for a minute. You used to defend that nigga heavily. And now you have found, you know, a new daddy at Tommy in Soto Nation. These are facts. This is a timeline that I just spit in a matter of what? Not even 5 fucking minutes.
Man,
nobody, listen,
Vic,
as far as
Vic,
influence, you don't influence anybody.
Vic, the shit you say is
this
so
is a
stupid.
3-year time span, Beasley. You're in the same goddamn spot you've always been in.
Vic, no, you're in the same spot. Let me tell you what I bought yesterday.
Whoa. No self-suckery. We can't have no self-love.
Why can't I talk about what I bought? Because I bought a cross. I should take a picture of it. I bought a cross. It's got yellow diamonds in it and white diamonds. It's got about 3 carats of diamonds. They're not big, huge diamonds, but they're all full cuts. And it's about 2 inches long. It's about the size of Kanitra's lips.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
Hold on, man.
Let him go.
It's been open season on that hippopotamus bitch from day one, man. I mean, let's face facts. Let me tell you something, nigga. I could beat any man from any land, from any game he can name, for any amount he can count. I'm Beasley, man, the one with the slick tongue. You know, I got grease and oil on my tongue. You raggedy ass, nothing ass nigga. All that shit you say is all irony. Because we watch Tommy son you and throw you some goddamn chattery and then watch you turn on him. We watch you kiss ass to have a platform. And to have a platform to do what? When you say YouTube career, that's the funniest shit ever. Nigga, you ain't got no goddamn career, you fucking idiot. A career? Good God, nigga.
I can prove that, Beasley.
If you think you got a career, you a delusional motherfucker. This is a career?
I can prove it. Vic, I can prove it.
You couldn't even sell crack successfully for 6 months when you were 16.
Well, no, your next statement should be prove it. You shouldn't deflect from what I just said.
I'm not deflecting. I don't even want to argue.
You're trying to change up. Don't change up. Go to the throat, Beasley. When you lie, you get exposed.
Vic, you're a liar.
Oh my God. That's a fucking lie.
Oh my God.
Because nobody would know Vic Damone unless he was consistently over here.
Vic, are you this is your career?
Are you going to admit that you are not? Aren't you subbed to my channel, Beasley? Aren't you subbed?
I can't stand you, dude. I despise you.
That's a yes or no question.
Vic, hold on a second. I would stick my head in the toilet and flush it before I would listen to you over a period of time. The only thing that I've ever done with your dumb ass, the only thing I've ever done with your dumb ass is ridicule you. I've dogged out your sister. I've dogged out your mother. I cussed that bitch out on the air. I've dogged out your wife, and I've dissed you, and you just now starting to fight back. You punk bitch. Nigga, hold on. That's another lie. That's
another lie.
Vic,
see, everything you're saying right now, it's like you get
that naked picture. Vic, that naked
Beasley, do you know that all of our conversations from 2 years ago are still on YouTube, Beasley? Did you know that? Yes or no?
Vic, that naked
yes or no?
That naked picture of your mama. I am the person that did that. I'm the person that commissioned someone to do that.
Well, wait a minute. You said you commissioned someone to do it. So it can't be both, Beasley.
It's the same difference, nigga.
It can't be both. Which one is it?
If you hire somebody to kill somebody, you are just as guilty of the murder.
But you still didn't have the balls to do it yourself. You still didn't have the balls to do it yourself.
Vic, I am the one that made up the troll name Carolyn Mann, which is your mother's name. That went to
Carolyn was on the show.
That went to every male
Carolyn
YouTuber,
was on the show.
That went to every male YouTuber in the comment section and said that she wanted to suck your dick.
Now, Beasley.
Vic,
hey, Vic, did you know that? Victor, did you know that he did that?
He knows damn well. And then he's so stupid.
Beasley is talking about
it. He's so stupid. No, it's history.
Chris, the conversation between him and my mother roasted the shit out of this nigga. My mother went in on this nigga.
His mother acted
over
like
and over.
His mother acted
Dog,
like
over and over, Chris.
His
over
mother
and over.
His mother acted like the
My
ratchet.
mother roasted the shit out of Beasley over and over and over.
His mother.
Nigga, how stupid
His
are
mother.
you?
Hey,
How stupid are you?
Hey,
His
Vic,
mother.
you can't spam the conversation. We get it.
Yeah,
Your mother roasted.
Nah.
Wait, I'm not spamming.
He left his mother.
Like,
oh God.
Okay, hey Vic, let Beasley respond. Beasley, he said his mother roasted you over and over. What's your response to that?
After I called her a fat, greasy bitch.
Oh, wait a minute. Look.
And
wait
then you know what? And then let me tell you what.
It wasn't after.
Hold on, Vic, let him respond.
No,
you made a point, Vic. Let him respond. You made a point. Your mother roasted him.
He don't stop because he's afraid for me to get these words going. This is how they filibuster me.
Are on YouTube.
Hold on. Because they know once this mouthpiece gets to working, man, it's a magnificent mouthpiece. I be burying these motherfuckers. They're afraid of the fire. What happened was I called in and told Vic that his mother was a fat ass greasy hood rat bitch. And then when that fat bitch,
after she roasted you.
Victor,
no.
We got it. Just one at a time, man. That's how conversation
what happened.
Beasley, finish.
And then when that fat bitch started talking shit and showed that she wasn't no real Christian, motherfucker, I'll come to a motherfucker's door. I was in tears, rolling, laughing until my side hurt. I had to turn the damn show off because I was going to die because I couldn't breathe. I was doing the Marty cheesesteaks in this motherfucker. Nigga, I showed your mama who she was. A big 745-pound, fat, ratchet black bitch. I will slap the fuck out your mother, nigga, and make you drink a cup of piss. Because I know that you a punk, pussy, pearl tongue in real life.
Why don't you tell?
All right, Vic, respond to that.
I've disrespected the whole family.
Look, let me respond. Because you see, look, he's in his feelings even thinking about my mother.
I don't got no feelings, nigga.
Beasley, let him respond.
No, if I had,
he don't want to tell the story.
Hey, Vic, that's your first warning for the bad guy laugh. No bad guy laughs.
No bad guy laugh.
Okay, Vic. Now go ahead, finish your story. Tell the story.
Now, when I was
straight line, Vic, in a straight line.
Yeah, are you with me? Are you in the car?
I'm with you. Go ahead.
In the car. Okay, now wait. When I started doing shows on Talk Real Solutions with Tyrone, and I was on BTR, my mother was one of the people that would call into the show on the regular. Okay, so Beasley and my mother would get into like conversations on the regular. So the first time my mother had a conversation with Beasley, he thought that she was some type of sensitive ass woman. So he ended up giving her that work. You know what I'm saying? They get into it. You feel me? On the show. So my mother ended up clowning him. You know what I'm saying? Like hard. You know what I'm saying? And it went on for probably about 3 or 4 months like this on BTR. So Tyrone had like banned Beasley from the show. Okay. So with about a 3-month period that went by, you know, I was like, man, fuck it, man. Let Beasley back in. Because, you know, I look at it like how I do no DQ night now. I'll let anybody on. So when I let Beasley on, right, the first thing he say to my mother is, you know, Vic Damone, I got to give you props. You're not a sensitive dude. I got that as a fucking clip. Do I not, Chris?
A straight line, Vic.
Hey,
so, wait, I turn around. Look, he goes, yeah, man, because that fat bitch of a mother, blah, 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 blah. And Tyrone and a couple other motherfuckers was on the line. It was like, mute him. And he literally thought like that was a victory, like the one-liner. You feel me? Like the one-liner. But that one-liner did not defeat all the battles that y'all had. You act like my mother is some type of sensitive ass nigga. I mean, look at her son. And Beasley, my mother was on No DQ Night 2 nights ago. You were there. Funny how you didn't click that link to say anything to her, but you want to talk all sideways with me. I mean, that's not going to work, Beasley. Just because people around us don't know how long we've known each other, they could go to the channel of Talk Real Solutions, Go back 2 years and see every fucking show I've done with your stupid ass. Your conversations were up on YouTube long before you made a channel called The Troll Father. Dumbass nigga. See, when you,
you know what?
and
Hey,
Angry
Vic,
Jew
Vic,
and
okay,
Vic, and all of them were going back and forth, nigga, that was going up on YouTube. You thought that was on BTR? You thought that when Tyrone lost the number that those shows were gone, Beasley? What the fuck? That was your dumbass fault. You didn't go on YouTube back then, remember? You just stayed on BTR. So let's not pretend like you have this great ass victory over my mother in one liner. Like I said, basically you said one line and hung up the phone, and you're sitting here glorifying like you did something great when my mother literally dogged you from YouTube to one-on-one private conversations off YouTube. Nigga, let's not play this game. Nigga,
Hey,
you
Beasley,
called my phone. Wait a minute. Beasley called my phone, my motherfucking cell phone, and my mother was on three-way giving you that motherfucking work. Nigga, please. And you bowed and humbled down when you was calling me, trying to get me to go at Monty. And I told you back then to eat a dick. So what, you trying to pretend like you didn't call me and say, hey, Vic, I want you to put up these eviction papers that was fucking 10 years old. I said, Beasley, everybody already knows about this. Why are you sending me this bullshit?
Okay, so you're saying, Beasley, you doing something back there, Vic? Are we simulcasting? Because I got an echo because of you.
Oh no, what I'm about to do right now is put my mic on mute and let this nigga go. I think he's looking on Talk Real Solutions to say, well, goddamn, here go all the fucking shows. What an idiot.
Hey, you know what, Vic? I want to thank you, man. That was as most of a straight line I've ever seen you walk, man. Hey, good looking for the sake of brevity. Hey, what's up, Dirty Foot Freddy?
What a guan.
Yeah, what the guan. What's going down, man?
Just chilling out, man. Happy Veterans Day to everyone out there.
This cross, Jesus likes me better than you, Vic. Jesus allowed me to buy this cross. I don't even like crosses, but I got a good deal on it. It's got yellow diamonds.
That was Satan. That wasn't Jesus. That was Satan.
It's got yellow diamonds.
In the Bible.
I let you talk. I didn't interrupt you one time.
Vic, he let you talk. I
didn't interrupt you one time.
So go ahead. Go ahead, Beasley.
I apologize.
You said that this motherfucker don't shut up.
I apologize. I'm sorry, Beasley. You said that's a playback. I'm sorry, Beasley.
All right.
You're the man. Beasley.
We get it, Victor. Go ahead, Beasley.
Nah, it's got like yellow diamonds and a cross.
Hey, Beasley. Yeah, I gotta rebuke you.
That's not self-fellatio. Hold on a second.
Major. You don't even have ribs.
But Chris, while you're complaining about how black people can't make it and can't do it and white supremacy, some black people are having things and doing things through legitimate or quasi-legitimate channels. I think we should champion those of us that know how to get it out here in America.
Right. We can champion those, but I'm still banning you from self-fellatio. So.
So I can't say anything nice about myself?
Yeah, that works for me. I can live with that.
Can I say something nice about you?
Yeah, absolutely. That's encouraged.
You speak real white sometimes. You've got a decent command of the language.
I would say I got above decent. You know, I think I gotta have an exemplary.
Hold on. I just saying something nice about you. Now you're engaging in self-fellatio. Vic.
Right. Because this is a monarchy.
Okay, that's cool. Cool.
Dumbass Freddie left. But go ahead, man. Vic made a lot of accusations, man.
Yeah, and we're gonna go ahead and let Vic's an idiot dude that twisted everything in the world. Wow, he want to interrupt again.
Victor, he didn't interrupt you, man. This is strike two, family.
No, but the truth of the matter is, Vic's stupid. He's dumb as fuck. I got him to give up. I got him to give up all Fag's phone number, who I had a legitimate problem with for doing bitch like shit. And I told Vic in the green room on BTR that the troll council, that I had a seat on the table and they didn't know who he was, and they was concerned about him calling himself the king of trolls. And I want to kind of ease the pressure on him before they start riding down on him. So I just want to know what you have to offer the council. He said, well, what do you guys want, Beasley? I said, we can start with all Fag's phone number. That motherfucker dished out and betrayed that nigga so fast. And then, to his credit, Vic gave me the story. Well, oh man, it's funny. Vic, you are the king of trolls. And it's too bad that one day, oh man, God bless you, Vic. You're a very intelligent dude. You've got vision beyond those 4-eye thick glasses that you wear. Vic, I would die before I would live a day as your life. Your shit is so sorry and raggedy, man. And everybody knows it. So you can bloviate and talk as loud as you want, but the fact remains, it looks like they changed oil on your carpets. Your wife looks like a moofaloon, man. You're dumb as fuck and you say dumb shit. And you try to turn, you tried to make, you know, a shit sandwich like it's prime rib. But you don't fool the people, man. You don't fool the people, you're not fooling nobody. And that's all right though. And you're a hell of a distortionist too. You distort the fuck out of shit. So much so you can't even address it. But I wish you luck in your YouTube career, bro. Take that shit to the top.
Thank you, Beasley. Yeah, I'm still
in fact, where's your PayPal link? I'm gonna donate something to you.
Right there. Just click on my channel. Go to any one of those live shows.
You begging burnt lip bitch. I wouldn't give you a bucket of shit. You sorry sack of shit.
Well, stop asking.
You stop asking, you begging bitch. What are you begging for money for? You burger flip.
I saw Tommy do it.
You burger.
I saw Tommy do it.
Nigga,
Tommy
Tommy is your obsession.
Yeah, man. I learned a lot.
You learned what?
You know how to get paid on YouTube.
Now,
I'm gonna show Chris.
Who are you fooling?
I'm gonna show Chris next.
Chris. Vic.
Yeah. I'm gonna show Chris next.
Vic, all right, I'm gonna ask you how to get paid. What do you call paid? How much money have you made on YouTube last month? I'm just curious.
Hey, look, I made more than you made with Slapper at the bus stop.
I'm not here to make money.
Well, you claimed yesterday that y'all was making money.
Where did I say this?
Well,
why do you lie so much? Why do you distort shit? Vic, is your wife pretty?
Oh, absolutely. Look at my daughter.
No. Is your wife pretty?
Absolutely. Look at my daughter. They look alike. Can't call her cute, then the other one's ugly. They look exactly alike.
Hold on a second. I got the troll father sending me a text thanking me for some a little token of appreciation.
Yeah. Tell that white boy I said what up now.
That white boy's from Watts, nigga. That white boy's from a place where if you walk down the street, they strip your fucking country ass naked.
No. Well, that tough guy, okay, makes YouTube videos all goddamn day, so he's not that tough.
Do you make YouTube?
Vic, are you claiming that Troll Father is a white man?
He is a white man.
That's ridiculous.
My granddaddy's white. I'm closer to white than Troll Father. But my mama black.
The troll father that I know who's the troll father has not spoken.
I was one of them yellow motherfuckers.
That individual that you heard talking wasn't the troll father.
He don't know.
No, Chris, that's not him.
You know one thing that's consistent about Vic? He's guaranteed.
Lunacy?
He's guaranteed to get it wrong every time. This,
But wait,
I'm amazed by it.
Wait a minute, I'm wrong? You're saying I'm wrong.
Vic, you're wrong about everything every time.
Okay, if I'm wrong, okay, listen, if I'm wrong,
Vic, stop
why
with your...
did the troll father put his video on private after Tyrone from Talk Real Solutions called into my show and said he flagged the fuck out of troll father's video? And you came up begging us to stop.
I don't never beg nobody for nothing.
You did.
No. I don't beg nobody. No. I don't beg nobody for nothing nowhere.
So why did you come up here talking about, oh, stop messing with Tyrone, Vic? You bringing Tyrone, man. This ain't right. This ain't right.
I don't never say no.
That conversation.
Anybody that's witnessed me knows that that's never a posture that I would take of one of complaining and submissiveness. Nigga, really? I'm an aggressor.
Okay, so why weren't you being aggressive when I put up a show called The Troll Father Exposed? Or it was something like The Troll Father, you know, it called out. And basically, you are on that show, are you not? Is you not calling it that show?
I don't remember. I'm on a lot of shows.
Oh, okay. So what I need to do is replay the clip.
But to answer your question,
I need to put up. I can put up the audio. It's not a problem. But you said you don't remember. It's not a problem. But I'll go to my show.
That's fine.
God damn. I'll go to my show and I'll put up the clip.
You know what?
I'll put up the clip. It's not a problem. You know what? That's my video.
You asked me a question, why?
Hey,
and the answer is,
I'm cool with that.
The answer is, frankly, my dear, I don't really give a damn.
Oh yeah, you do. You give a damn because your ass was sitting there begging us to stop. And Troll Father, bitch ass, put his video on private. Tell Troll Father, your buddy, to take his video off private, bitch.
Vic,
take your video off private.
Vic, the only begging I've ever done is when I begged your mother when we was having fucking phone sex to pull my dick a little bit harder so I could bust in her face.
So why is the video on private, Beasley?
God damn.
Why is the video on private?
I didn't do no phone. I said phone sex. I didn't know video sex.
Why is the video on private? Why are you deflecting?
I gave
you talk about my mama, my wife, but at the end of the day, I own you, Beasley. I own you.
You don't own Vic. You don't own nothing. Vic.
I own you and all of your Troll Father accounts. The motherfuckers you got running them. Yeah, nigga. Look, I exposed all of y'all. All of y'all.
Vic.
Hey, Beasley.
Hey, Beasley. The whole shit down, nigga. Y'all some
Hey, Vic, hold on, Vic. Hey, Beasley, turn your attention to the chat room, man. Black Cherubim made a hell of a claim.
Don't instigate, young Chris. I don't give a fuck what that black bastard says. And I'm going to teach y'all about not giving a fuck. You know, you got so many people to talk about, they don't care. You know, Monty Munchkin says, I don't care. I don't care. The best way to show that you don't care is to not comment on something. That's the way that you show that you really don't care.
Right. So when you
hey, Freddie, hold on, Victor. Hold on, Victor. I know you got a bone to pick with him. Hold on, but I'm about to give Freddie.
Hold on, Chris.
Hey, Freddie.
Let me just say
this.
Hold
on. Let me get to Freddie. I gotta get to Freddie.
Vic ain't got enough calcium to pick a bone with me. You deficient, vitamin deficient, mineral deficient, malnutrition.
Hey, listen. Now I gotta let Vic respond to that, and you're gonna want to respond to Vic. So I'm gonna cut this short. Hey, Freddie, listen. You do a lot of loitering on Hangouts. If you don't add to the conversation, bitch, I'm gonna toss you.
Fuck you, bitch. Yo, after they're done, I'll get to you, faggot.
Oh my God, man!
It's a shame how this show devolved into such debauchery. When we were discussing the socio-political effects of this election, now I tell you what, it is what it is. You know, you can protest your motherfucking ass all the way down there to Skid Row. And yeah, this dude's a pig, Trump. And yeah, he used a lot of like all candidates do. You know, they do what's called play the race card when race is a viable issue in this country that never has seemed to go away. They use race as a card and they play it to play on people's emotions. And he did a masterful job of that.
Again, I mean, I think that he did a good job on playing on people's
fears.
racism.
That's what
fears, racism, whatever you want to call it.
That's what presidential candidates do, because it appeals to people, because people's gut instinct, no matter what their ethnicity is our group against the others.
Right. Well, let's give or take.
But unfortunately, as black folks, we have so much infighting amongst ourselves that we can't even seem to get that straight to present a united front to the opposition. That's why niggas go for their own. It's hard to build with anybody, but it's particularly hard to build with niggas. How would you build with a limp pocket ass nothing nigga like Vic? You can't.
He just can't get off my nuts. I mean,
Vic.
See, you did this,
is starting to hurt.
This is what I
gotta let my nuts go.
Hold on. This is what I do. I talk about
my nuts for real.
No, this is what I do. I talk shit, and then all of a sudden,
grab my nuts.
No, a hand flies out, and I bitch slap somebody inadvertently. That's just how I get down. I can't help it.
If you're holding on to my nuts, your arm's not long enough. Yeah. So that's physically impossible. You cannot hold on to my nuts and then bitch slap me. I mean, think about what you're saying.
Vic, does it smell like dog shit in your house?
Oh no. I'm very smell sensitive.
Hey, hold on for a second.
Does it smell like what? Does it smell like walrus?
You do have like 12 animals in your home, so there has to be some aroma of shit. Hey, but chat room, listen, I can't send. Hold on for a second.
You control that.
Hold on. Well, okay, thanks, Vic. Chat room, for future reference, I'm doing a 30-day Facebook bid. I'm banned, so I can't send links to Facebook. So if you can do me a favor, Victor. Lamar's asking. Okay, Lamar's on. All right.
What's up, connected Chris? Connected Chris.
Hey, why do you echo what you say, you dumb motherfucker?
Shut up, Wayne. You connected, nigga.
So what's up, man? You've been wanting to come onto the stage, man. You here? This is the biggest platform over here, so let's go.
What? Hey, you on that self-suckery?
No. I can get myself self-fellatio on my own shit. This is the kingdom of Drazen. So yeah. But anyway, did you want to
up in that baby boy?
Hey man, you got a world of windows up. You got a world of windows up, man. You want your people to hear you.
Man, I don't feel safe, man. I got 2 bum niggas on the panel. They might try to rob me.
But you from Inglewood, man, run your ass the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Oh
Vic, you don't scare nobody nowhere. You don't scare nobody nowhere.
But I gotta go, y'all. It's too
now,
late.
Vic, let me tell you this from you. You got out in the streets as a youngster and failed, and then your ass up in prison. I navigated the streets and navigated killers.
That's not how you do it in the streets. I navigate. What you had GPS? How did you navigate? Did you have a compass, motherfucker? No, I navigated.
I had Jesus Christ on my side, Vic.
I know, and
Jesus likes me more than he likes you.
No, I refuse to believe that.
Man, Jesus stuck you in Detroit in a motherfucking shack with dirty carpet with the big fat ugly bitch. Jesus don't love you, nigga.
Wait, hold up. But you didn't have anything to compare it to. You took a shot and didn't compare it to anything. Like you didn't have anything to add to like the comparison. So
Vic, let me tell you, Vic.
More than me. You just took a shot and you didn't come back with, well, I got this, and this.
Vic, hold on, Vic. Let me tell you something.
Hold on, yeah, I got. Go ahead.
I had a 500 SL older Mercedes convertible. I sold it.
What happened to it?
I sold it. But let me tell you what I bought.
You got now?
I got 2 S500s. I got one of them that's a 2005, one that's a 2006.
Okay. So you got that from an auction?
No. I
got that from an auction?
I got it from Mashing for my ration. You know, and I own them in my name, and that's not that big of a deal. But I got a beige one. And then I got like a blue black one, the color of your blue black ass lips. You black lip bastard.
Okay. Is that it? So you own 2 cars?
No.
That's it?
But I used to have a house on the hill in the brand new Seville.
You said you used to have a house. What happened to the house?
Let me tell you how I got it, nigga.
No. You said you used to have it, so you don't have it anymore. We don't care about how you got it. We want to know how you lost it.
I didn't lose it.
Oh, well, you said you had it. I mean, had is past tense.
That's
you know how to speak English.
But let me tell you something. But I still know how to bip bop. I might sell hop. I can rob, steal, and
bip bop and bebop. You bebop to figure out your own goddamn house that you own. Nigga, how dumb are you? Are you stupid? You're telling us that you own the house, right? And you don't own the house anymore. So you go back to paying rent, motherfucker.
Hey Vic, man, let your leader speak for a second. Go ahead, Bum.
Yeah, go ahead.
Vic, you own a $7,000 house you don't even own.
What the fuck is you attacking Vic?
Cause it's fun.
No, he's upset. He's upset.
Hold on. I know you didn't come to defend this little bitch. Are you with the Bum Defense League?
I just asked the motherfucking question, old man. Are you a part of the Wheelchair Defense League?
I don't have a wheelchair.
Oh yes, you do, bitch.
Now the truth of the matter is, you'll never catch me on camera doing no bitch shit like getting fucked in the ass like your bitch ass son, Lamar Leilani Wills, faggot ass motherfucker. And I warned you. No, and the cold part is, Lamar, I said, don't do this. You talking reckless right now. I'm gonna do something that you're not gonna like. Fuck you, bitch. Send me pizzas. Nigga, I blew up the entire spot.
Phyllis, man. Shut your old ass up, bitch.
You bitch. The only person uglier than Big Damone's wife is your mama, nigga.
I go ahead and meet one. Yes, man. I'm about to put a bitch ass.
Deborah is one ugly, ghoul-looking bitch.
Okay, I've seen pictures of my mom already. What else is next?
It's unfortunate your whole makeup. We all know about your pops. You're just a tragedy walking. Hold on. Now you know what?
It's 2 o'clock.
I've never gone as low. You know what, Lamar, on the real, I've never gone as low as so many people to talk about your deceased brother. And on a lighter note, I saw a video that you made where you picked up your brother's son.
Okay.
And it touched me, man.
It touched yourself.
No, I'm being for real for a moment. It touched me because it's a cute little boy, and you said he looked just like his father.
A cute little boy.
Will you shut the fuck up, you ignorant motherfucker? And you know what, Lamar?
You gotta stop these real life attacks, Beasley.
This is not an attack, man. You're doing a good thing by staying in touch with that boy and being in his life. And when you said he looked just like his father, and I've heard the history of what happened, it hurt me. As much as I despise you, I don't despise you as much not to have some empathy, some understanding for that cute little boy who looks like he's full of joy, who lost his father prematurely to some bullshit. And
okay, Beasley, but why we
no, because I'm being real with you for a moment. And that's a good thing that you're doing, keeping him around like that. And when you said he looked just like his father, I had to turn the video off. That's just heartbreaking. And I never would talk about your dead brother. I never talked about your brother. These motherfuckers talk about your brother. I never talked about your brother. Never. Not once.
My point is, I'm on the highway, y'all, but my point is that I've been trying to get his sister and his sister to, the mothers don't get along even though the father's dead. And that shit is ridiculous to me.
Well, you know what? That's a good thing that you're doing, man. I commend you for that. Because that's a sad story. And that sad story, it
Hey,
touches
Chris, we
me.
don't get back.
No,
We don't
Lamar,
get back.
that sad story, what's really
What?
sad about that story is that there's hundreds and thousands of black kids growing up without their father that have been murdered by another black person. And I don't have no solutions for none of that shit. But seeing that boy touch
Hey,
me,
y'all, it's a nice ass day outside. Can y'all see this shit? Sun shining like a motherfucker.
Nigga, it's cold as fuck.
Hey, Beasley, yeah, definitely shout out for you know, taking the show towards a definitely morbid
nah,
tone.
man, because that
Hey, but Lamar, you were saying you were trying to get in contact with his other kid's mother, and she's giving you hell.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I'm the only medium between the brother and the sister because the mothers don't get along. They had beef with my life.
Oh, so they're growing up separate?
Well, they actually go to the same school, but the only time they get to spend time with each other is when they come to my house.
God damn, what's the issue, man? Did he cheat on one to make the other, or what?
them bitches just be acting.
You know, when my brother got killed, the little boy's mother was pregnant, and then he already had a 1-year-old daughter, and the 1-year-old daughter mother and the boy's mother was beefing. So they never spoke to each other. You know, the kids visit each other, so they had to meet at my house.
Well, I think that's probably best because I know if if I knew somebody hated my guts, I wouldn't want them alone with my child either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can only imagine what they would do to your child. You know, I feel them on that aspect of. Hey, Beasley, you got to hit that mute button, man, when you go through them hacks. Hey, but I definitely understand what they're doing. You know, but they should respect the need for them to know each other and be in each other's lives, man. They growing up separate. And how often do they come to your house? Like every other weekend or so?
Every other weekend. They coming over this weekend, actually.
Yeah, man. See, that's fucked up, man. I mean, that petty shit. And plus, you would think it's been enough time. Your brother's passed what, about 3-4 years now?
No, it's been 8 years.
Okay, about 8 years. Yeah, it's enough. I mean, give it a fucking rest. Has any of them had any new children?
Well, his daughter's mother hasn't had any more children, but the mother of the son has had 2 more children since then.
And so, who's really carrying this torch? Is it this daughter's mother or the son's mother?
The daughter's mother.
Yeah, this is wild, man. That's petty as fuck. You're only hurting, and that's gonna cause resentment. Yeah, that's pathetic, man. But they neutral with you. They understand what you're trying to do. When you talk to them, what's their reasoning?
Because they're younger than me, so they like to go to the club on the weekend. So they just drop the kids off at my house and they go have fun.
But what I'm saying is, do you have these conversations with them? Like, look, they need to be in each other's lives. They need to, blah 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 blah.
They both just agreed to allow them to come to my house and be with each other. That's as far as it went. They ain't trying to go no. Yeah, they're not trying to bend no more than that.
God damn, man, bitches is dirty, boy. Talk about holding a grudge, man. Nobody does it better than a woman. God damn, man. You know how much effort it takes to be so miserable like that? That's fucked up, man. But at least you playing your part, man. And you doing your job as the uncle to make sure that those two grow up with each other and stay in each other's lives, man. So that is pretty dope, man. So, but listen, let's go. Let's change gears, man, because it's such a somber topic, and I don't want to ruin your day with it.
You want to know what? When I saw that video, I was in warrior mode on this shit. And that shit sobered me the fuck up. It made me just turn this bullshit off.
Man, I also want to man.
I think we're gonna lose Lamar.
In fact, you know what? In fact, just thinking about it and talking about it, I don't even feel like arguing with nobody.
Yeah, no, it's took the fight out of me too, man, because it got a little too realistic for me. I'm a little pissed off at you, Beasley. You could have saved this shit for a text message.
It touched me.
All you gotta do is go listen to that new Clothesline Queen 3 Chainz anthem to get you right back where you need to be.
Right. I don't know who homegirl is too well, but that bitch is talking shit with a goddamn clothesline in her house. That bitch living like RPJ status in the goddamn washroom.
Hey, I've been following her for
Laundry room living motherfuckers talking shit.
But yo, I've been following her for about a year. Black Queen, I've been following her for about a year.
Hey Lamar,
Hey, man,
I'm gonna mute you, Lamar, because that wind is causing major interference unless you're gonna talk.
Man, I need some coffee. Yeah, that's
See, every now and again we gotta feature somebody new. It's getting, we're getting to the end of the year. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you need some new blood. Let somebody stupid enough to come walk in this motherfucker.
Right.
Right in the human soul processor. Because your shit's gonna get cut the fuck up. I don't care who you are. You ain't leaving without no scars.
Well, all I'm saying is this to y'all. Listen, I like wrestling come out with a new lineup, nigga. I got a new lineup for y'all. I got a new lineup. Black Queen is just one. All right, I got a new lineup coming.
Well, yeah. If I was her, I'd be pissed with you because LA's been going hard on her.
You've made one good joke.
It's what she wanted.
Vic,
Wait a minute, it's what she wanted.
Vic, you made one good joke.
Tricking people.
You made one good joke in 2.5 years, and that's when you called Styles a kitchen witch when he was a warlock in the kitchen. Other than that, dude, you got major. Lamar, I could say something. To say something positive about his ass, motherfucker coins phrases. Motherfucker coins phrases and can't find a way to monetize that shit somehow. But he will coin a phrase, and everybody will be saying that shit. From for real to that shit is smoking to this is a family show.
Oh, wait a minute. Now Vic Damone has catchphrases.
Oh God, Vic.
Vic Damone has catchphrases too.
The reason why you Vic, the reason why Vic, this ignorant motherfucker.
All right.
This ignorant ass motherfucker, Vic. How have you avoided prison?
Hey, Robert J. Powell, what's going down, black man? Hey, congrats on your son, man. I want to tell you that personally, man. Congrats. You did a great job, man. He's going to a higher learning institution, man. That's dope.
A higher institution of white supremacy.
Well, it is definitely a white supremacist school, but like I said, he has the opportunity. He has the opportunity to learn.
No. But that's where your message. That's where your message lacks some substance or has some holes in it, because at the same time that you attack the entire system of white supremacy, and that's everything down, every institution there is. We also take pride take pride, and we promote and are happy to see, the stories like a young black getting into what school did he get into?
Columbia.
He got into Columbia and Brown.
Yeah. Hold on. No, because you're gonna go major left, and I want to make sure I center you. The reason why this is a celebration is because his achievements are very, very possible. And so even though the curse of being black under a white supremacist system is that everywhere you turn, you have to deal with them, and you're under their rule. He has the opportunity to gain a serious education and possibly make change for his people. So I'm going to salute him, and hopefully it gets to him. And he says, you know what? I was going to be Dr. Ben Carson, but I think I'm going to take this education and be Malcolm X. So that's what I'm hoping for. So that's what my salute is.
That's there's a little hole in that. Malcolm X got his education and his temperament inside prison. It's a different story. No, hold on a second, Chris. I always commend these young scholars. I've got them in my family. Cold-blooded girls. First-tier schools, private schools, private Jesuit schools, 4-year scholarships. That's $160, nigga. $160,000. Racks on racks on racks. Young. That's a lot of fucking. That's a gift. She's a lawyer now, and it's cold where I found out this is my goddaughter, and the other one, my niece, is in law school right now. She got more stamps in her passbook. I mean, in her passport. has traveled the world studying and finished her degree. And guess what? She still likes to party and have a good time. Beautiful girl.
That's right.
Hey,
That's right.
salute to your niece, man. Salute to her. I definitely applaud that.
It's bad. And then they get into these law schools. They get accepted to both of them. Got accepted to your Hastings, your this, your all your other. Do you know how expensive that shit is? You leave there with anywhere from $75,000 to $250,000 in debt. They didn't take that route. So you go to these rinky-dink law schools, but it provides you the opportunity to pass the bar. They're going there on scholarship. So there was like discussion if it was the right move or not. And she's like, no, I don't want to be like no debt slave. I want to travel.
Well, that's dope, Beasley. We're gonna shift the focus to our new guest, Robert J. Powell. What's going down, man?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just I came in, I had some time. I was like, what are they talking about here? Then I saw you had a maggot on here a little earlier. I was trying to get on here and get the maggot on.
Hey, Lamar. RJP is here in a platform where you can't out yell him. He wants a one-on-one, man. Bring your black ass back up here, man. You got that link. Click that bitch.
I was trying to get on with
you, Chris. I'm down for the one-on-one. I love those.
Vic, if you dare jump in, I'll just boot you. But Lamar, bring your ass in here, man. We're gonna have some law and order. We're gonna let Robert J. Powell speak, and then you speak. It's gonna be like a debate. Each side gets a moment to speak, but you're not gonna do the yelling, and you're not gonna put nobody on no wings. So let's see if you're ready for that.
Robert, to let you know that your words don't fall upon deaf ears. Some of us are curious and interested in learning still, no matter if we are 86 years old. But I just want you to know that I completely understand what abductive reasoning is and what abductive inference is.
Yeah.
Hey, Haven, I made this whole hangout was because in response to your video, man. So I'm about to put that link in the chat. And yeah, come on up, man. I wanna talk to you about your stance on black people being responsible for Donald Trump's presidency. I vehemently disagree.
Haven,
hold on, Beasley, because you're a gentleman, I disagree with you like a gentleman. So I want to speak to you. I want to speak to you about this person, directly.
Haven's like, fuck all y'all niggas. Fuck Dr. Umar. Fuck
Haven went nuts.
Hold on. Every other video. Fuck Martin Luther King. Fuck Hannibal. Fuck Hannibal.
Hey, he's doing it like a New York style, because he's fuck you straight like that.
Fuck Crispus Atticus.
Right.
Fuck Langston Hughes.
Benjamin Banneker, fuck you.
Fuck Benjamin Banneker, you black bastard. They Washington D.C. for these white devils to hold us down. Young Haven, what you gonna learn? Hopefully one day when you, and I understand you feel the way you feel. You want to hold these people up as if they're larger than men, and hold them up to live up to their own ideals. But very few men have been able to walk that path throughout history.
Again, I agree with that. Haven, no. But listen, what's going down, man? Everybody, welcome Haven. Haven, what's up, bro?
Peace. Haven, what's going on, brother?
Peace to J. Powell. Peace, Beasley.
Young niggas say peace, but he fucking commit war.
Hey, that's what makes Haven's video so funny, because it's full of vitriol, and then at the end he gives the softest piece. That shit cracks me up.
Yeah, that's how he lets your guard down. You say peace, then he cuts your arm off with the machete.
Yeah, that shit cracks me up. Hey, but Haven, listen, I wanted to this whole thing was I hate that you missed the beginning, because I addressed the election and the fallacy that people are blaming blacks for Trump's presidency. When you look at it, it's as if blacks owe Hillary anything, as if we owe the process anything. Voting isn't obligatory, and not voting doesn't exclude you from the laws or the rights or whatever America has to offer. White women who she represented, who she was supposed to be their beacon, they betrayed Hillary, not us. If 1 million black people stayed home, so be it. But we don't owe Hillary, the Democratic Party, or the Republican Party anything especially when they offer us no solutions, no attention, no real pandering to. the bitch didn't even campaign to us. She thought she was going to inherit our vote just because she's not Trump. And black people said, suck my dick.
No, they voted for 88% apparently to the thing, but that's exactly what she did though, Chris, is she pandered. She did little cheap fucking ploys by trotting out Trayvon Martin's mother and trotting out, yeah, that's the cheapest, and then going to churches and hitting people with emotional strings. That's what politicians do. They're salesmen. Right. And a lot of,
and Beasley, to piggyback off of what you're saying, a lot of black people were turned off by that nay and thinking that you can do this shit to black people. But when you go in front of the APEC for the Jews, it's all business, it's all solutions, it's all partnership. But when you come in front of us, you wanna hit a little bit and shit like that. So a lot of people were turned off by that.
You know what's so heavy about what you just said about the APEC? Is that they summoned the candidates to appear all on one day.
Yeah.
Talk about leverage, authority, equity. What E.F. Hutton, motherfucker, when I talk, they listen. They summoned each one of the presidential candidates, and they all came on one day and gave impassioned speeches. Every place else, people go to see the candidates. And Donald Trump kissed the ring already. It's going to be a smooth transition and business as usual as far as business go. He's not going to upset the apple cart as much. And they showed it how he can enrich himself further, because the dude that he wants to pick as his chief of staff is somebody that used to be the head of whom else? Goldman Sachs, who is Hillary's largest contributor. So when you have scholars, and I'll call Umar Johnson a scholar, but I don't believe in any man, I believe in myself and God. But when you have scholars speaking the way that they do, the reason why they're speaking the way that they do, because they understand that the system is rigged in the sense that the financial supporters, because finance rules politics. All right. Politics is a sideshow of administrators. It's the chumps in the front and the Macs in the backs. It always has been, and it always will be. And the dudes that pull the strings, the APACs, the Goldman Sachs, where the real power base and consolidation of wealth is, that's who's calling the shots. And I think that's the reason why people that you've so were nice enough to attack, Dr. Boyce Watkins and the other dude, and they're scholars, they're educated men. They're not fraudulent BTR PhDs, because they exist too. I think that's the reason why they say that, because I didn't vote, and I don't feel that I'm responsible at all for Donald Trump being the president. That's all.
Okay. All right. Hey, thanks, Beasley. Now, Haven, please feel free to retort. Oh, and what's up, E-Money Bags? I want to acknowledge your presence. E-Money's up here. What's up, dog?
Hey, Vic, you could never make Vic. Let me tell you just between me and you. There's lots of them. You could never make a comment like that.
Oh, see, Beasley. See, when you say that, I gotta allow Vic a chance to defend himself, and it's a loop that never ends. So, Vic, he insulted you. Go ahead, get a cookie.
I didn't insult you.
Moving on.
I said he couldn't make a comment.
Chris, my balls are hurting. Okay, my balls.
Now it's
okay. That's it. Y'all are finished though. That's it. We'll go. We always go back to the fuckery. But hey, what's going on, Dirty Foot? Okay, so y'all are done. So
hey, Beasley, shut the fuck up, man.
Okay.
Let Haven speak.
Hey, Haven, go ahead, brother.
The reason, first, let me make this clear. I was not necessarily blaming black people, because, like I was always kept saying, I was talking about 3 Pacific states. Because no black person could have voted in the state of Mississippi, and that wouldn't have made a damn difference. You could have been in California where Beasley is at, and not voted, and you're black, and that wouldn't have made a damn difference because of the way our election system runs. I was specifically talking about, what I'm mad about, is that you had people presenting themselves as if they're in the best interest of the people, and then they told bold-faced lies to the people. Like Beasley said, which is true, about finances, and those people going to get theirs in the end. But we talk about socially, and we talk about in the best interest of black people. Let me make this clear. I'm not a Hillary Clinton fan by no stretch of the imagination. I don't like Hillary. I never did, and I never supported her. Never supported her when she was running for senator in New York. Never. She gets no support from me. But it was about, I was looking at the situation as what can what's bad and what can be worse. Because Hillary Clinton is the devil you know. Trump is the devil you don't know. Because remember, Trump is a businessman. Hillary's a career politician, and she's also a Democrat. There's certain things that she would never do to black people, for the simple fact is that she still needs you. She would not help pass laws that disenfranchise the black vote because she needs black people. She would not do she would not attack stuff like affirmative action and things like that because because that would alienate too many black voters. Trump don't give a fuck about that. And he's a businessman. He doesn't give a fuck about legacy. He's just coming here to just try to do whatever he wants to do, to try to make more money for himself and get rid of some regulations and stuff like that and move on. The real people I'm really upset with is the people who lied, who supposed to be scholars and lied to the people saying that there was no difference. They know damn well there's a difference. That's why as soon as Trump was elected, all of them are backpedaling from that position that there's no difference.
Haven, if I can interrupt you, I want to give you this point because I said this earlier when I was referencing your videos. I said that you had a point right there. When you have people who are promoting and campaigning for people not to vote or saying that what they weren't going to do and making suggestions about voting and how to vote as far as a black bloc, and now that they're backpedaling, I feel like you do have a point there. But I feel like you're splitting hairs, and I think that what you just said, isn't factual to this degree. Hillary Clinton is not concerned about black people to the degree that you're making it. Like she wouldn't harm us. Well, she campaigned for her husband under the Super Predator Lock the Niggers Up Act. And that harms blacks because it makes them felons and imprisons them, and then you lose voters that way. And she's responsible for an entire generation of black people that are ruined. Black people that she sent to those prisons died in those prisons. Have come out and had no jobs and were forced to go become criminals again and died on the streets as criminals. So she's not this. She's not a softer version of Trump. She is Trump, just on the flip side. Their differences are hair differences. They both promote. Hey Beasley, you got to hit that mute, man, because you out here with the Jason Voorhees breathing. I'm gonna mute you, family. But the fact of the matter is that they both have black blood. They both have participated in anti-black actions, policies, campaign against blacks. What I'm saying is, and I think that if this will remain true, is that the difference between Clinton and Trump isn't enough to beckon blacks to support her. I feel like if black people had a problem with her being a part of the Clinton campaign that ruined generations of blacks, it's legit. If people don't appreciate the bitch being involved with the Libya killing dictators, laughing about it, her email scandals and all this other shit, those are legit. She's her and Clinton are responsible for pillaging and robbing Haiti. That's a legitimate reason not to fuck with this bitch. If that's your position. But I don't think that the blacks that are in Wisconsin or any of those throw states, and even Michigan for that matter, because Barack carried Michigan in both his runs, that they could be to blame if the margin is 66,000. The people that owed that bitch something were white women, and white women showed one thing: no matter how much they bitch and cry about feminism and this and that, what white women like is a nice, strong patriarchy to lean on. And that's what they voted for. This is not at the feet of black people. None at all.
I would disagree with you about the difference that it's not hair difference, because now that Trump is elected, Trump can actually go, and I do believe he is, he's going to go after affirmative action. He's going to go after things like that's going to really hurt black people, like federal. He's like going to freeze federal hiring. She's going to do a lot of privatization. Because when people talk about the government being too big, they never talk about state government. They're not talking about local government. They talk about federal government, because the federal government hires black people at a disproportionate rate. Like, that's why they keep attacking the post office, because black people are like 13% of the population, but like 60% are like the post office workers. And that's a good quality, easy, high paying job. This is why they constantly attack the post office. They attack other institutions like that. People are going to lose jobs, and people are going to lose real life opportunities that would not be gone if, let's say, even if Jeb Bush got elected. Jeb Bush wouldn't have been going after affirmative action, trying to privatize everything. That's something that would not have happened.
Well,
that's what I was talking about. I'm talking about, like, from the economic standpoint of a lot of black people being hurt, and a lot of black people in the future going to miss out on a lot of opportunities that would not have happened if say, a Hillary got elected, or even one of the other establishment Republicans got elected.
And you know what?
That's what I'm really talking about.
You know what, Haven? I think that the reason why like affirmative action is brought up in this conversation because people really don't know the numbers for affirmative action. Affirmative action doesn't. Beasley, you back to that goddamn Jason Voorhees breathing. Mute yourself.
Man, you better watch your tongue with me, young nigga.
How is that? How am I watching my time? I said mute yourself.
I just said watch your tone. I'll mute myself.
I'm not watching my tone on my own. I didn't out-tone you.
Out-tone me? Just be nice.
Oh, I'm not being nice. Kiss my ass. Hey, listen, Haven. What I was saying was, affirmative action doesn't it doesn't benefit black people. It benefits white women. They are overwhelmingly the benefactors of affirmative action. It is something that is supposed to help minorities and women, and white women overwhelmingly are supported by
Chris, but you're acting like two generations of black people didn't make big strides economically with affirmative action, and white women have benefited as well because they were considered a minority, but ignoring the fact that so many black people were able to get into colleges and get decent jobs and become professionals and live.
I'm not ignoring that. I'm acknowledging it. They are paraded in front of cameras, and just to be fodder for the racists to say that affirmative action is the reason why you didn't get a job when that's not true. They don't put in off the street fucking grease monkeys and throw them into Harvard. They don't do that. If you got into Harvard as a black person under affirmative action, you were qualified. So what they did was they took qualified blacks and put them in positions that they were qualified for. But the point
I don't know about you, but let me tell you what else they did, Chris. They took a lot of students, particularly in Los Angeles. I know from Crenshaw High, and they got them into SC, and they got them into a lot of the other universities, and a lot of those kids didn't have adequate English skills in order to participate. And they had a lot of them had to take remedial classes. So a lot of effort was done.
That's called sabotage. That's called sabotage.
It's called. It's
Haven Bullets. I wanted to
oh God.
show you something. Okay.
Here goes a child left behind.
Here, Vic, let me just say this to respond to Chris. Chris, I know the majority of people who are benefiting from affirmative action are white women, but I'm talking about for black people because like you said, a lot of black people who got put in because of affirmative action, they were qualified. But guess what? If affirmative action wasn't there, they wouldn't have got put in at all. Because that's what it was. These were quotas that you have to have a certain amount of black people because we had a lot of qualified black people who were not getting in at all. Affirmative action is what keeps the black middle class and upper middle class growing and existing. You take away affirmative action, a lot of qualified black children who would have got into Harvard or whatever because of their grades to qualify are not going to get in because they're black. A lot of people don't get that promotion to that VP spot. A lot of people don't get hired at certain corporations if there's affirmative action is not in place, because it's not just about schooling, it's also about hiring, promotion, and a whole other lot of things. I know white women benefit the most, but the black people who do benefit from it, they benefit greatly. The black middle class basically exists and is the size it is today. Remember, before affirmative action, there were 20 million black people in America, and we had about $20 billion. Now, after 50 years of it, we got over $1 trillion, and it's 45 million of us. And a lot of black people who are in upper middle class positions and upper positions as far as like economics is concerned, and because they got jobs like doctor, surgeon, and stuff like that, would have never been afforded those opportunities or never even got hired at those positions or promoted to those positions if not for affirmative action. You take that away, you have literally chopped the next generation of blacks at the knees.
Oh, I see. What I don't disagree. That doomsday is what I disagree with, because if it was as effective, hold on, Beasley, because this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. Beasley, you're next. Vic, you're next, and I think Robert J. Pyle is chomping at the bit, so he can come after that. but that's the lineup. But no, what I'm saying is that it's not this. It's not because you're painting it as a golden ticket. And what I'm saying is it's been effective for blacks. I'm not saying that no one has benefited from it, but what I'm saying is if you have a program and 100 out of these 100 people, 88 of them are white women, and there's 12 for you, and you go to a school that has the population is much larger than that, then the program really doesn't stand to break your student body like you're promoting it. What I'm saying is that it has worked, but again, this is all hypothetical. He could possibly do this. Any president could possibly challenge it, but I don't think that it deserves the weight that you're giving it, as far as like it's going to cut the knees off the next generation of black folks. That's heavy, and I just disagree to that. All right, Beasley, your turn. Make it quick.
Affirmative action's already been downgraded.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
That's true.
I know, because I've worked in the field for a long period of time in an industry that actively sought out business from the standpoint of being a minority-owned business. So I milked that cow. He gave you stats to go along with my assertion that blacks benefited from affirmative action. And he gave you stats to go along with it. And sometimes, Chris, you're gonna have to find a way to adjust your thinking to find the glass as half full sometimes. You got a cynical slant on everything, and it's almost Tommy-esque, where you guys don't discuss the middle ground, or you don't cover the other thing. It's like this way and it's that way. Black bitches are ratchet, and it's so fucked up.
You got to get centered, man, because we're not going to. I try not to bring Tommy up.
All right, no, not Tom. Well, what I'm saying is, what's similar between his arguments and your arguments is that it's no gray area. It's just black or it's just white. It's like Styles said, he's bipolar. That means two poles. It's either one or the other, and it's not. There's a mix of circumstances and results. Now let the guy with all the big vocabulary talk. I get a kick out of him.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't want to skip Vic, but he's right up next. Hey, Vic,
man, if you jump over Vic to this dude, you just be saving some brain cells, and you'd also be keeping. Just jump Vic this one time.
Hey, I feel you though, but ultimately, I think Vic's gonna surprise us. Go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, because I kind of disagree with Beasley completely. I agree with Chris. There is sometimes a black and white area, and sometimes there is no gray. And to Haven Bullets as well, you know what I'm saying? While y'all were talking, I wanted to show you know what I'm saying, Haven Bullets something as well. Because if you notice Haven Bullets, okay, those are the numbers right there. Those are the numbers. 88% of black people voted for Hillary Clinton. 65% of Hispanic people voted for Hillary Clinton. But guess what, Haven Bullets? 67 white people, 67% of white people, okay, to put Trump in office. So what say do you have? What real voice do you have? See, I didn't vote at all. I'm one of those guys that don't participate in the voting system because I know this is a part of white supremacy. I made a statement a while back. I said, when your choices are, well, who do you vote for? David Duke or Willie Lynch? As a black person, you should say, well, I'm not going to participate in this. You shouldn't turn around and say, well, I'm going to vote for David Duke. You follow what I'm saying? And to be honest, with the numbers out here, with the numbers publicly, okay, look at that. White, no college. 67% of white, no college put Donald Trump on. These motherfuckers didn't even go to college. While y'all motherfuckers talk about education. Who really control the country? Who really has the voice? Who really has the power? Okay?
You ignorant fuck.
Me personally, I don't involve myself in politics whatsoever, because if you say you're against white supremacy, you can't involve yourself in any element of white supremacy.
That's because you're a felon, you stupid motherfucker.
All right. These are the numbers, hands down.
I must be.
Let's say the 12% are felons and can't vote.
Hey, Vic, are you asking Haven a question? Hey, Victor, are you asking him a question specifically? Because for the sake of brevity, I want to streamline this. So if you have a question for Haven or anybody on the panel,
I think I got this question, Chris. I'm gonna answer it right now because I think he's saying that the black people came out to vote and white people actually put them in office.
Also, I want to give Vic props for surprising us with the statistics. That's a legitimate question. Oh, hold on, Vic. Hold on, but I'm gonna muzzle you. Go ahead, Haven.
The thing is that Vic is not understanding is that, first of all, white people, those are percentages. Those are not actual numbers, which means what? 100, let's say we have 100 people and 88% and 88 of them vote for somebody. That's 88%. But let's say we have 100,000 people and 88,000 vote for them. That's also 88%. Those are not actual numbers. If you also know, Mitt Romney is the maxed out the white vote last year. Mitt Romney got more white voters come out for him by statistic and by actual number than anybody in recorded history of the presidency, even more than Ronald Reagan when he ran the table. When Ronald Reagan won 49 out of 50 states, got more white people to vote for him last time than Ronald Reagan did that time. Less white people came out to vote for Trump. White people were only 70% of the electorate this year. They were 78% of the electorate last year. That's why Republicans were freaking out, because they said we maxed out the white vote and we still couldn't beat Obama. What gave Trump the win over Hillary was the fact that he flipped 3 blue states. Trump, we're not talking about swing states. If Trump had won all the swing states and all the red states, he still wouldn't have won if Hillary had just won the blue states. Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, the 3 states I keep naming. The 3 states I was naming the night of the election that were the most important. Those 3 blue states, those states been going blue longer than California. Those 3 states been going blue for almost 30 years straight. Over 6 straight elections, straight blue. Hillary won, Trump won those 3 states. How did Trump win? He won by tiny margins. He won Pennsylvania by less than 70,000 votes. That's the equivalent of winning like by 7 votes, and we got 100 people voting. Nothing. He won Wisconsin. He won Michigan, where you're at, by less than, I forgot, I think it's 20 or 40,000. He won Wisconsin by less than 12,000. This is again what I kept trying to say in the video. It was because Black people in those 3 states stood down, because those are nothing. That's like I said, he literally won by like 1%. That was nothing. That was easily overcome. That was easy to overcome. And if they had came out even in just Pennsylvania, Trump is not the president. Period.
But Haven, I understand what that math. I understand what you're saying. But black people don't owe. Who's got the echo? Black people don't owe Hillary shit, and they're not beholden to her. So if they decide not to vote because of her history, that's legitimate. But I'm gonna give it to RJP. RJP, go ahead.
My thoughts were very similar to Haven's. If you guys are talking about affirmative action, and when I look at it, yeah, white women do benefit the most. Increase for Blacks being employed of over 30%, and you're also talking about Blacks who are in STEM fields going up and increasing anywhere from 10% to 20% because of affirmative action. So you really, it has its benefits. You know, if it's about trying to look at this in a black and white manner, you can't. You have to look at it, and you got to look at the gray areas. You can't put up a statistic or data about voting without what Haven Bullets did. He went back and he said, no, that's not true. You gotta look at everything, every little detail of everything, and then examine. I'm trying to stay away from saying certain words because people think I use big words. No,
Hey, listen. You're here with you're here with thinkers. So let me tell you this: the only tightrope. The only tightrope you have to walk, RJP, is that I am the smartest and the funniest person on my panel. Once you meet that threshold, I'm gonna drop you. So go ahead, man. Talk regular. But if I feel like you threatening me, I'm gonna get you the fuck out of here.
Nah,
let it fly, Robert J. Powell.
He's dumbing himself down to fit in with the motherfuckers from Michigan.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Listen, I'll warn you if you get too smart. Go ahead.
No. But when you talk about, you just can't put up pictures. You got to talk about the differences in the data. You got to talk about data prevalence in one direction or another. You can't put up pictures. Pictures by themselves don't mean anything. You got to really go into it and examine what the causes are from what everything is saying. You got to look at all the variables, and then you can come up with what the case is. Affirmative action is very important. Very important. You're talking about an increase. You're talking about possibly, very likely, reducing Black employment some 30%. And then you got blacks in college and so on and so forth. You're talking about reducing that. I don't know the percentages of that. I'm going to find that out too. So it is very important.
You know, Robert J. Powell, like I said, between you and Haven, I don't disagree with the fact that it has its benefits. Black people have benefited from it. Where I disagree with, and I don't think you've made this point. You haven't made this point. What I disagree with Haven with this point is that it's under fire because of it's certainly under fire because of Trump, and it would have never been touched because of Hillary. I'm saying that it's always on the table, on the chopping block when we're dealing with white people or presidents or whatever, that it's not safe either way. And I don't think that that's the tipping point between the difference between the two of them. And Haven, I'll allow you.
Yeah, Chris, I want to make something.
Michigan.
I want to make something clear. I'm not. The ultimate responsibility for Trump is racist white people because they're the ones who put him forward. He should have never even been up. He should have never even been in this position.
True.
Period. The second ultimate responsibility is the Democratic Party. It should have never been Hillary. She should have never even been there anyway.
And Haven, 2 seconds. That was another point I wanted to make why people were turned off by her because it came out that she sabotaged Bernie, and that was another reason why motherfuckers stayed home, that the bitch was dirty. But go ahead.
But she should have never been there. But what I was trying to say is that even though that's the case, I'm talking about black people. We don't owe Hillary anything. I'm talking about us looking out for our own best interest. That was our best interest to keep somebody like Trump out, because it's not just about affirmative action. It's not just about that. It's not just about mass incarceration, because every president since Nixon and the war on drugs has been involved in mass incarceration. And even before that, because mass incarceration actually started after slavery. Because once slavery ended, that's when mass incarceration began. It just throughout history got supercharged. Different policies supercharged it throughout history. And that 94 crime bill was one of them.
Right.
But this is what I also want to say. Trump is now going to pick a Supreme Court justice, which means that now the Supreme Court is going to be 5-4 conservative. And on top of that, he's most likely going to get to pick 2 because Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she's going to die or be forced to retire in the next 4 years. She's not going to make another 4 years. Even if Trump don't get reelected, she's not going to make another 4 years, which means Trump is going to get to appoint 2 Supreme Court justices, which means he's going to make the Supreme Court 6-3 in favor of conservatives. And judicial activism is at an all-time high, because that's why everybody keeps touting Antonin Scalia, because they was like, listen, there's a lot of things that black people have that we want to get from them, but we can't get it. We can't take it from them through legislation. So let's try to legislate through the bench. That's why so many Republicans been trying to become judges. They call themselves the Federalists, and we're strict constructionists. That's what they're trying to do. And now that you can have 6 people on that Supreme Court and judicial activism that is at an all-time high, people can basically get anything removed now. All you got to do is sue. You don't even have to be President Trump or the Republican Congress. It can be somebody just suing and saying, you know what? I don't like affirmative action because it violates the 14th Amendment, the Equal Protection Clause. And they take that all the way to the Supreme Court, and they're gonna vote partisanly. They're not gonna look at the fact that it doesn't violate it. This is meant to correct the wrongs, because this is meant to correct the historical wrongs of racist white policies towards black people. They're just gonna say, you know what? That's right. We vote that way. So even if we do get a positive candidate that black people love as president, he could put forward policies that, but from now to like the next 40 years, the Supreme Court could invalidate, or they could cut it up, take key provisions out of it. Just like people were trying to sue in the Supreme Court to get key provisions of Obamacare taken away. They knew they couldn't. The Republicans kept trying to repeal it. They couldn't repeal it. So what did they do? They try to go through the Supreme Court to get pieces of it taken away. That would make it, that would basically gut it, just like they did the Voting Rights Act. That's more what I'm upset about. Also about that Supreme Court, it's not just about, like, it's a lot of things that fall out from this presidency. It's not just we got Trump, because like he could be there for 4 years, but the policies he put forward could be affecting us for the next 40.
Right.
You know something? To it's going to play out the way it plays out, but he may surprise you a bit when it comes to economic development in black neighborhoods or in poor neighborhoods and some of the poor neighborhoods. And he spoke to that. And there are before Bush, even the Bushes. And I'm just trying to round this off a bit because I despise all those motherfuckers, all right? And I know who they are. But even in the Nixon administration, they went into communities and tried to help. In fact, they created HUD, Housing and Urban Development, what was really designed, to help housing and improve housing conditions for low socioeconomic people. He might surprise you a bit. He might surprise you a bit.
Okay, Robert J, what you got to say about that?
Oh, I'm cool. You can pass me on that one.
Okay, all right. Anybody else want to talk about Trump surprising you?
Yeah, I would like to talk about what Beasley just said because I do believe there's going to be some economic development. Because
hold on, Hayden. Let me see if E Money want to say something. E Money, do you want to address anything? You've been silent.
Yeah, all this is nice to say and everything, but really, you guys are looking at the legislative and the judicial and the executive branches of the office, and you guys totally gloss over the fact that probably the biggest area we can have influence in is the legislative, and that's because all of those people are elected officials from the local governments of the states. And in
that's one of the benefits of voting.
Fuck voting, man. We could be raising our own legislative branch. Why are we not raising children and getting them into we're all sitting up here talking about vote this person, vote that person. Every single person you talk about voting in is a white person.
Make a Black American Palestine, and then it can go the way you're talking about. But other than that, we're just a small polity within a larger government or system.
We'll see. Hold on. Let Eric finish because I think I see what he's doing. And I would say this to combat Robert J. Powell. Our size, we're much larger than people who are smaller than us who have 3 times the power. We're larger than the Jewish population. They have 10 times the power. We're larger than the Arab population, the Indian population, so forth and so on. So it's enough of us to, if we decided to stay the course and say this generation that's in school right now, we're going to fund and fuel them and raise them to be our next representatives. That's a real possibility.
I got a news flash for you, Chris. Black people are fractured.
I agree.
I agree. And that's
ideological, and an example of that is that when you just look over at the so-called conscience sector, and I don't follow it that closely, but you got camps outside of camps, onside of camps, and these dudes are just odds with each other. That you can't build like that. And
I would agree, and I don't think that we have to have a because a lot of them their difference is religious dogma. What I'm saying is
difference and religious dogma. People kill each other for shit like that.
Yeah, that's real, very real. That's very real.
Wars have gone on for centuries over religious dogma, so that's really what makes it much more potent.
But you know what? That's not an excuse. White people have differences in their religious dogma, and they don't do this stuff.
And white people fight with white people too.
Yeah, and white people are still the dominant race here.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, E, is that like even though those are minute because we have to look at the bigger picture. And I agree with you, Eric. But continue on that thought process. What were you going to say?
I mean, because we are 12% of the population, and yeah, we're a minority in comparison to white people. But we're large enough that we can get senators.
True.
And representatives or governors and things like that. I mean, yeah, the federal government has a huge influence on our lives, but the local has a very large hidden influence on us that we never even look at and we totally ignore. We're all jumping around talking about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Man, the federal government has powers that it's not supposed to have. The local government is the one that's supposed to be doing most of the things, and we're all dumping all these responsibilities on the president. No, it's true. We've given up a lot of power to the federal government because we want to say all this is on you and this is who we want to have the power, so we can focus our attention on something. But it doesn't work that way.
The federal government has the purse strings here.
The federal government has purse strings. Look at your paycheck.
I don't get a paycheck. Nobody can pay me to stay.
Okay, well then, this doesn't matter to you. But anybody else looks at your paycheck. The city takes taxes out.
Now, let me tell you, Eric. You got three different classes of people, and people complain about work and slavery and everything. I'm gonna be real quick on this. You got people that get up to go to work. You got people that get up and get worked. They go get work. Like Vic's burger flipping ass. He goes get work. And the reason why Lamar don't want to do work jobs because he goes and gets work. And then you got those of us that know how to navigate this shit and wake up and put in work. That's the difference. As far as elected officials, man, white supremacy can manifest itself in dark skin. Don't let the skin tone fool you. Who would you rather promote? I'm gonna ask all the panelists. This is kind of interesting. Who would you rather promote? Or who would you rather write speaking for you? Rachel Dolezal or Clarence Thomas?
Here we go.
Hey, I'm getting rid of you, Beasley. I'm getting rid of you for that. Hey, so Beasley, enjoy the trip. Hey, you heard the rules. Who's the smartest motherfucker here? It's me. You just did some smart shit. You gotta get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Hey, but that's a good question. I'm interested. Go down the line, Eric, man. If you don't mind, answer that. I want to hear your answer and say why.
Look, it's true. I mean, because we're all indoctrinated. We go to white school systems. We watch white television. All this stuff. But if we're going to do that, and then that's going to be the argument against doing what I'm saying, then there's no reason in arguing at all. And we just go with the flow, and things don't change. I mean, as a group, we'd have to come down and say, okay, we want this stuff to change. This is what we do, and come up with a plan. Something like, you know what? If our school systems in our black neighborhoods are not good enough to get our students where they go, we go down the line of our children and we go, who's the brightest and smartest? And then we collectively pay for those families to live in a more affluent area and send them to the better schools to get them a head start and then get them going. But there's always the risk when you do that of their mindsets getting changed in how they live and forgetting where they come from.
Absolutely.
Right, because the higher up you go, the wider it is. And sooner or later you become beholden to them. So I get that point. Hey, but let me ask you this, Eric, because you spot on. But hold on, I'm going to ask. I'm going to go down the line because Beasley posed a good question. I want to see people's mind state and answer the question, and then state your reasons why. So Eric, between Clarence Thomas and Dolezal, who would you want to speaking for you?
Neither.
Hey, that is a possibility. All right, Haven, what about yourself?
I would choose neither, but if I had to choose, like if somebody had a gun in my head.
Oh, gun to head. That's how we're gonna do this question. Hey, Haven, I appreciate that. Gun to head. This is a gun to head question, so neither is not an option. Good looking, Haven. Go ahead, Haven.
I'll take Rachel Dolezal until I get the gun from my head, and then I'll put somebody else in. Until the gun is moved, I'll take her in the short term.
Okay.
Short term, yes. Long term, no.
Gun to head. So we're doing gun to head. Okay, Robert, gun to head.
Well, if you did it that way, I would take Rachel Dolezal. I mean, even Malcolm X, in his latter years especially, was talking about good white people. He was talking and comparing white people who were Muslims and saying they had a different mindset, at least at that time, that's the way he saw it, than white Americans. So I'd take Rachel Dolezal because it's about understanding, and she seems to understand a lot. If you put a gun to my head and didn't
gun
say
to head. Gun ahead. So Robert, I want to push back on that. A lot of people take his final years and try to bastardize it. His ultimate change was that white people weren't bad genetically, that it wasn't something that was just in their blood, their marrow, their DNA. But he did at no point retract the fact that a system creates bad whites and that there are bad whites on this earth and bad whites are the dominant on the planet. But what he did was change and say that no, this is no longer something that is festered in the womb. But Beasley, you asked the question. Gun to head. Beasley?
I was on mute so that you couldn't hear me breathing. Of course, Rachel Dolezal. And you know that what's interesting here is that you can find people to disagree, and then to try to build a consensus, You have to find areas where you can agree. So I think what we've just laid out here is that skin tone and skin color doesn't necessarily represent what someone's
Mentality.
ideology is, right?
Yeah.
And their mentality is. And I think that's forgotten often.
Hey, Eric, gun the head, man. You didn't answer the question. You found the back door, but I'm not letting that happen. So gun the head, you got to pick.
Gun the head, I'll flip a coin. Because honestly, you got two people that would be considered traitors. You got a white woman pretending to be black, so then she's considered a traitor to the white race. And no matter who's being betrayed, you can't trust a traitor. So it wouldn't matter to me.
I didn't say trust. I didn't say trust. I said
no. If it's speaking for you, you have to trust them to speak for you.
Man, if you're trusting any politician, you're going to be disappointed. These are polished used car salesmen.
Well, I don't think that you can involve yourself in the political process and not have a level of trust in that process. You have to believe that at some point that they're going to keep their word.
But they don't.
So
but
it's
Chris,
not. But what I'm saying is, it's not void of trust. That's the only point I want to make.
But they never do. You know what you do is you use them if that's what you choose to do. And what's interesting is that where I live is really close to the city hall in this city that I live in. And the dude that was running for mayor, I knew him because he was man of the year from the Chamber of Commerce. So I just talked to him to talk to him. It looks like he's going to be the mayor. It was beating out the black mayor who's a damn police officer or was a police officer. John Brown is what I wanted to bring up.
That's right.
Should John Brown be recognized during Black History Month as a hero?
Well, you got to look at it like this. The fact that we got to go back 150 years to find a good white person, I think that tells
you don't have to go back that far.
That's not what I asked, Chris. I'm not saying that he's a good white person. I just said, as black people, should we celebrate John Brown?
No.
Oh my God.
No, you look at it, because what did John Brown do but what did he do that would be so worthy of I understand the history, but I'm asking this question in this preference. What I'm saying is, here's a white person who decided to not be evil. So that just being a decent human being deserves our adulation, our applause.
No,
accolades, absolutely not.
No. A decent human being during those days would help some runaway slaves and give them, comfort for the evening and some food and a couple of dollars, some shillings to help them along their way. John Brown was a real revolutionary. He was instituting revolution. And he seized an arsenal in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, as those of us that paid attention in school know, and went out to attack the system with weapons. He wasn't no revolutionary, internet cyber revolutionary like Jabin's friend Renee Bass. He was a real revolutionary.
Well, but listen, Beasley. What I'm going to say is this: maybe once white supremacy is defeated, but putting a white man as the face of black resistance.
No.
Hold on. You can't even put him next to. Listen, because of the poisoning of racism has done to the black brain, he can't even be placed next to Nat Turner. It just does not work. Maybe when this is over with.
You're putting words in my mouth. It's not sanitary. I didn't compare him to Nat Turner. All I did is just ask you, should John Brown be celebrated as a freedom fighter for black people in America? And of course he should.
Well, I said no, and I gave you
and that now you compared it to stuff that I didn't bring up, and you compared it to stuff that aren't even germane. The question's real simple. See, your own biases, and this points out your biases, and we all have them, but your biases just against white people, period, is not allowing you to see the ultimate sacrifice that this man did. This motherfucker's a real live revolutionary. This is George Jackson. This motherfucker actually did more. Well, Malcolm X sparked a lot of minds, and that's much more powerful. But he put more on the line than Malcolm X.
They both died. They both no. See, that's the problem. That's the problem with this, because he's white and because we see through a white lens. It is inappropriate to
not
him
that.
up.
I'm talking about his actions. I'm not talking about.
I get it.
I'm not talking about his ethnicity, Chris.
You can't escape him being white. So I'm putting all of that, because that's what he was. He was a white man who did X, Y, and Z. So sure, he died trying to defeat racism. But again, there was a slavery. He tried to defeat slavery. But again, there are a lot of white people who particularly didn't like seeing black people abused, but did not want to compete against them for work. So that's what I'm saying. So I don't know the full character of John Brown. And given his times, I'm pretty sure he still had a sizable amount of racism in him. He may have not wanted blacks to be on cotton fields, but the odds are he didn't want to compete against blacks for a way of life. So let
me ask you this. This is a loaded question, but I mean, so who would you celebrate more, John Brown or the people in South Carolina that informed on Denmark's Vexy before he can have the slave rebellion down there?
Beasley.
No, because this
That's
is the way.
loaded.
No, yeah, that's a loaded question, because when you are myopic enough to look through the lens of skin color and paint blanket statements, and it's like this or it's like that, there's a lot of things that you're not taking into consideration.
Hold on. We got a guy in Beasley. I disagree, but I want to address this guy in the chat who caught my attention. Big Loke. I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Him having blacks fight against slavery is I don't doubt that. I don't even diminish that. The fact of the matter is that we don't know enough about this man, and given the fact that he is white and how white transmits information to the Negro brain, it is counterproductive to even talk about this motherfucker when we have tons of black revolutionaries that we need to fully study and applaud. So that's all I'm saying.
Mad Head's gonna tear your ass up on this one, Chris.
Wait, Mad Head can suck it through the jeans. Hey, Xanatos, what's going down?
Oh goodness.
Can I address?
Hold on. Speaking of Clarence Thomas.
Oh God, you can't help yourself, Beasley. Go ahead, Haven.
To address Eric's point that he made quickly, I understand what he was talking about, like as a long-term plan, but we're not talking about a long-term plan right now. That's a different conversation. We was talking about the here and the now, Hillary or Trump. We're not talking about what we should do to raise the next generation. That's a whole separate conversation.
Right.
I have always told people that voting at the local level is very much important, because 90% of the racism that black people face comes from the local level. The cops that kill you, the laws, a lot of that stuff that gets you fucked up really badly, the discrimination, the fucked up neighborhoods and all that, that's from the local level. But a lot of people don't understand is that a lot of people who was also promoting that local level, state level government, that shows me, I'm not talking about Eric specifically, but not because I addressed that, but I'm talking about just people in general. They didn't know what the fuck they was talking about, because a lot of people said, don't go vote for Hillary or Trump. We need to focus on local and state elections, but not knowing that there were locals and state elections on election night. Because people who don't understand it don't know that you don't just go vote for president. There's governor races going on. There's senator races, state and U.S. senator, assemblyman, congressman, mayor, sheriff, judge, district attorney.
That's right.
Propositions on the ballot. People literally could have went to go vote, said fuck Hillary and Trump, and went down and voted for their local mayor, voted for their governor, voted for their prosecutor, voted for a prosecutor. And but because people were taking such this simplest, because a lot of the people who were telling people not to vote were taking such a simplistic view of voting and didn't even actually understand the process themselves. They missed that completely, because the Republicans cleaned up at the local and state level also. Because usually when people come out to vote, they vote straight down, which means that if they vote for a Democrat, they vote for every Democrat on the paper. The Republicans cleaned up locally and state. A lot of Democrats that actually people could have voted for that were not like Hillary didn't get voted for because people didn't come out to vote.
Actually, I think it's more, once they vote for the president, they stop filling in the check marks. That's what I actually think happens. I think they see a name, they know, they vote for that person, and then they just leave everything else blank.
But
And
I'm just talking.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think.
I know what you're saying, but I don't think. I think people vote for the president and then they don't vote the local elections.
Okay. We need education and civics and the political process.
Yeah, but I'm not necessarily talking about you, Eric. I'm talking about these. Try to sound so smart, but they don't know a goddamn thing about politics. How do you say in one breath, don't go to the voting booth at all, and we need to focus on local election when the local elections was happening that same damn day? If you actually felt that way, fine. But you were supposed to tell people, show up, vote for your prosecutor, vote for your mayor, but don't vote president. Period. That's what you were supposed to say.
Haven.
Not
you're right, Haven. You 100% right, and I
Yeah, we're
definitely
down with that.
I definitely agree with that. That because what you're saying is you can't be reckless with that type of shit. It should have been streamlined and at some point focused on what does work for Black people as far as the voting process.
That's
and
right.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%, Haven. So definitely shout out to you. But Haven, that was a little too smart for my liking. And it didn't come from me. So I gotta bid you farewell, Haven. Hey, Black Arts, what's going down? X-Man, what's up, man?
Yeah, nothing much. Can you all hear me?
Ooh.
Hey, Haven, X-Man and Black Arts sound like y'all on walkie-talkies.
Oh, no,
you can't hear me clearly?
Fucking phone.
No, I can hear you. I'm just saying that's just the sound. But go ahead, Architect. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to piggyback off of what Haven was saying. That's the problem is people look at it more in terms of the general election. They don't even pay attention to local and state. And, by the time you get to the general election, the vast majority of people don't even know who these people are in terms of what their stance is, what their plan is for their districts, as well as the state. We should get involved early in the process. And going back to just the whole thing with Blacks and what we should expect from these politicians in general is the issue is we don't go to them as a collective with any type of demands because, for one, we don't even know what those demands are. If we were all to sit here and draft up a list of 10 different things we want to see our politicians do, how easy would that be for just us on this panel? Now, you're talking about an entire collective. You're talking about an entire nation, or you could talk on a state level or even locally in the city. But, we don't walk up to these politicians and say, this is what we demand from you. And without that, we're not giving you any type of financial or political support. So just like all these people who got upset with Obama, like I said, we immediately anointed him because he had melanin in his skin. Like that's all we needed to support him. And the fact that he was a Democrat too. But then people got mad after 4 to 8 years saying, well, Obama didn't do nothing for the Black community. He didn't do anything for the Black community. What did we ask from him? When Obama sat down with us, what did we say to Obama other than the fact that, oh, you got a nice jump shot. Oh, you listen to rap music too? Oh, that's great. What's your favorite type of soul food? All this other type of stuff. But we never asked him, okay, what are you going to enact for our community? We just, assume that because he's Black or, half Black, that he was going to address our community because it's something that's inherent in him. And the same thing goes with, like, the Congressional Black Caucus. We see these people, we think, okay, we got Black people in Congress. They're going to look out for us. Those are the ones that's been bought. As a matter of fact, if you know anything about Congress, those are the most corrupt ones sitting at the House, because they are willing to be cutthroat with any and everybody, including their own staffers, to get ahead for themselves. So all I'm saying is, we have these lofty expectations when we didn't even lay out a list of demands. And and like I said, I agree with you too, Chris, where you said, it definitely takes economic power too. We have to have some money to bring to the table. Otherwise, we're not a viable ally to have for anybody in politics. But it's just we look at it in the sense of, oh, so-and-so's not going to do all this stuff for us without anything. And that's the issue. We have to have a starting point. What the fuck do we really want is the question.
Hey, I definitely appreciate you adding that, Architect. And I agree that Barack Obama duped us, and we didn't use our power or our voices appropriately when he was in the White House. And then when something happened, we acted as if Barack Obama hasn't always been that way. And but again, it's still on the hand of the politician because he did run on a platform of change. That's what got people to vote for him into office. So even without us being his watchdogs, he still had a debt to his constituency that he basically failed them. But go ahead, X-Man, give your 2 cents.
All right, so a lot of people I'm seeing are getting mad upset about Donald Trump winning the election. And granted, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I didn't vote for Hillary neither. I voted third party. But look at the people who are getting upset over this. The people who are getting upset over this the most are a lot of these liberal, limp-wristed, go both ways, SJW, feminist types who, quite frankly, in my opinion and in my personal lifetime, have been the most racist, or at the very least, the most disingenuous towards blacks. These are the same kind of people who hijacked the civil rights and black power movements to their own cause without giving us anything in return. And quite frankly, a lot of the policies that they put in were the same policies that set blacks way more back and have harmed blacks much more than whatever the Dixiecrats and conservatives did when they ran this country. For that fact alone, I'm not as fearful over a Donald Trump administration, especially if you're a black man. So given all this, given all of who is protesting and bitching, I mean, look, I'll take it to the roast arena, whatever, Black Sector YouTube. Notice how empty it's been ever since Donald Trump got into office?
What? Huh?
What? What? You disagree with that?
You're tying things together. Yeah, I disagree with what you're tying together, but so be it.
Yeah, but do you really think a lot of these hipsters and SJWs were really defending the rights of blacks? Come on. I mean, these are the same people. You act like, for example, yeah, they may be the same white liberals that march Black Lives Matter and went on the streets and showed their ass off, but at the end of the day, these are the same SJWs and hipsters that hang out with 90% whites and 10% anything but black groups. These are the same people who, at their little startup firms and all this other shit, they will have all whites, some gays, some Asians, some aliens, whoever, but they will not hire blacks. These people do not go out of their way to help blacks in any sort of fashion. Ask them if they will date a black person. I mean, that's my ultimate stance on if you're a racist or not. As far as I'm concerned, these people, these SJWs and these Hillary Clinton supporters, these people would have fucked blacks way more than Donald Trump. I mean, I'm not saying Donald Trump's going to be the savior. I'm not on that fucking bandwagon. I'm not on that fucking train. But as far as black men are concerned, we just dodged the bullet.
Well, I would say this. This is what I say. I don't know who will do the worst, whatever. It definitely is a lesser of two evils. But dodging a bullet, the black man suffering or gaining more under one or the other is so slim that I don't think it's enough. It's not worthy enough for our attention collectively, because it's really a crapshoot when you're dealing with two historic racists, But anyway, anybody want to add to what X-Man said? Disagree, whatever?
Yeah. Debate.
I would say is that those people, they weren't out there for black people. They were out there for themselves because Hillary was in their best interest. And that's what I was also trying to explain to black people. It's about our best interest. It's not about Hillary. We don't give a fuck about Hillary. Most of those people don't like Hillary. Those are people who would have rather Bernie Sanders be in instead of Hillary, but they still got out and did what they could do to try to get her elected because they realized she was in their best interest. Their gay marriage is not compromised under a Hillary presidency. It is on the table under a Trump presidency. It's about your best interest. It's not just necessarily about liking that person. It's like business. Sometimes the best time to do a merger, you might have to merge with a company that's headed by somebody you don't like. But the company with somebody you do like, that's not a good look for you. And you might have to just go with the person you not necessarily don't like. See, they were out there for their best interest. That's one of the things I was trying to communicate to people. Our best interest. That's all. Our best interest. It's not about we like gays. It's not about feminism. It's not about we like Hillary. It's not about the Democratic Party. It's about our best interest. Our best interest. Because like Umar said, who is another clown?
Ouch.
He tried to say, well, the Trump is not necessarily that bad of a person, but the people he's going to have around him are that bad of a person for black people. That's another thing people keep missing it out on. Mayor Rudy Giuliani might be the top cop in the country. That's something else, because we keep talking. That's why I kept trying to explain to people. It's not necessarily just about what I'm talking about when I say Hillary was better than Trump, as in we comparing the two directly. We talking about everything that comes with them. The Ku Klux Klan is having parades all around the country. There are no Ku Klux Klan parades if Hillary get elected.
Well,
it's not just about the two. It's about what comes with them. A lot of extra shit that's really going to hurt black people, because a lot of things that Trump is going to do is not necessarily might hurt black people, but a lot of that extra shit about from the Supreme Court to the governors, because Trump is more likely to be like, hey, states right, do what you do. And that's where the real pain going to come from, them local and state governments.
But here's the thing about,
and that's what I was talking about.
But here's the thing about the racists coming out of the closet and exposing themselves. In a way, you sort of want that, not because we agree with them or not because we stand by them, obviously not, but because we want to know who the real assholes in society are so we can air the shit out of them. We're at a time, maybe not in America, but in the world, where a lot of people's whole cards do get called out. And just like how, let's compare this to Nazi Germany, for instance, since a lot of people want to compare Trump to Hitler. Yeah, Nazi Germany had its short-lived victories and taking whoever they wanted and discriminating whoever they wanted, but eventually the world came around and they saw what Hitler was doing, particularly when he was crucifying and executing people, and the world, quite frankly, called his whole card out. And we all saw the result of that. So, with that being stated,
I understand what you're trying to say.
Want the racists to be called out and basically get their Nuremberg treatment in the end?
And that's a good point. I want to push back on that. I mean, I get your point. Well, I agree with you up until the all of the part of as far as racists being exposed, and I think that a lot of them are going to feel emboldened to come out to the light. They're going to leave their coffins, and they're going to show their fangs. I agree that we do need to know the enemy that is before us. But where I disagree at is that that white people, especially when it comes to when the victim of abuse or murder or whatever is black, there is no world rally to execute or put their abusers on trial. But I think the silver lining is that we will be able to see a lot of white racists come out of their dungeons. But and I want to also agree with Haven, Mayor Giuliani. I'm sorry, Rudy, being possibly the top cop in America is very real, and that is a something to be concerned about, because he is the father of stop and frisk, and it's possible that could be a national policy. I don't think it's a high possibility, but that's something that we may have to wrestle to the ground as a collective, and it's something that we may not have had to deal with under Hillary. So to that point, I will ascribe a check mark too. Anybody want to add to that?
Oh, I would like to add one more other thing that he was talking about, also about the racists coming out. Yes, we want the racists to come out and we want to know who they are, but we don't want them to know who they are when they're in power. Like, we would rather find out who they are when they're not in power than find out who they are when they are in power. Because it's like, we got to think about it like this. Because we talking about overt and covert racism, and we talking about passive and active racism. And those are, let's put it like this. That like, we was to plot that on a graph, a Cartesian graph, the graph you did in school, that Y with the Y-axis and the X-axis.
Yeah. Yep.
X-axis would be like passive, active. Y-axis would be overt, covert. Somebody can be a passive racist, but we can overtly know that they're racist, but they just not actively doing anything that is racist. You could have somebody who's actively racist, doing actively racist policies, but it's covert. And let me give you an example. Bill Clinton's 94 crime bill. That was covertly racist, but it was actively racist because it actively put people in jail and it was actively hurting black people. Let me also clarify something. It wasn't necessarily the crime bill that put so many black people in jail. It was the states following. It was a bunch of states that passed similar laws for themselves that actually led to a lot of black people getting incarcerated. Not necessarily that bill specifically. It was a bunch of states that, like California, that copied that bill that led to the mass incarceration of black people.
Hey, you know what? I agree with that. I want to address a rope belt, dirty foot ass Freddie, who's extra a black undesirable. Freddie's been in the chat talking this white boy bullshit, and as if everybody has the option to be a foreigner in another. You like a Negro and scratch your head and look at us as something that you can't understand. The problem with you is that you're here because black people fought and didn't like racism and opened up doors for you and your boat brethren to come over here.
And died. Don't forget that, Chris.
And died. So you and you filthy stowaways like to talk shit like, hey, if you don't like it, just leave. You guys aren't willing to join us in the fight of any consequence or to change racism. You're saying either accept racism up your ass or leave it. Well, but who the fuck says that to people who are victims of rape or anything? Hey, you shouldn't have had genital. Hold on, Beasley. Hold on, goddammit. Who's gonna accept that that type of fucking reasoning with any other victim of a fucking crime? But when it comes to racism, you're just saying take it or leave it. Fuck you, Freddie. Go ahead, Beasley.
I don't see how you're winning if you leave a beautiful place like Trinidad to live in Memphis.
Exactly. You live in America's toilet, and you're talking shit about take it or leave it. Man, fuck you.
Hustling backwards.
Man,
I mean, I can see if you were if I can see if you're in a popping metropolitan area, a vibrant world-class city like New York or San Francisco, Los Angeles, even Chicago. But to be in the toilet bowl of Memphis, I mean, that's just like one asshole hair away from being Detroit.
Oh, well, thanks a lot, motherfucker. But I get your point. Hey,
well, you know what? Jaden was speaking to the crime bill. That's what I want to say something about. There was.
Hold on, I got one more diss for Freddie. Hey, listen, Freddie, let me tell you something. You're saying a white person brought me to this country. Listen, if it was up to white people, there would be no Negro immigrants. So trust me, when black people fought and died and had their churches bombed and their children slaughtered, it's because of little fucking dirty, filthy, pickpocketed immigrants like yourself who killed one of their boat passengers and stole his identity. Your real name ain't Freddie. That was the name of the motherfucker you killed to get here. So shut the fuck up. Okay.
Yeah. And another thing about that, Chris, I want to just chime in a little bit about immigrant blacks. They in trouble too under Trump, because Trump was going around the country telling people about we're gonna get rid of them too. When they talking about people thought he was Mexicans, he's like, oh, we're gonna get rid of them too. That's why the Somalians in Minnesota is sweating, because Trump went to Minnesota and told them, like, you see these Somalians, they gone. They're gonna be gone.
You know what? Also, now, if he really puts this shit down, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be real interesting. Because it's what's frightening. You're right. It's not just Trump, but Giuliani, who is a fascist and a pig like Chris Christie. I'm not calling him a pig because he's fat. I'm calling him a pig because he's a former federal prosecutor. As far as the crime bill, the federal crime bill came after the California Three Strikes Law. The California Three Strikes Law was a product of the Polly Klaus Davis broke into these nice white people's house and stole their daughter and killed her and raped her. And because of that violent, horrible crime, they instituted the California Three Strikes Law. Unfortunately, the way the law was written, it allowed for minor crimes to be the third strike. People were getting 25 years that had a lengthy record for stealing CDs out of the stores. Motherfucker stole a piece of pizza from some white boys in Redondo Beach and got 25 years. And got 25 years to life. And a lot of those cases are now, after 20 years, some of those sentences are being reduced. There was a large support for the crime bill among black politicos because there was a cry from the community. No, let me finish. Because once again, you guys aren't painting the whole picture and showing the other side. I'm just illustrating some of the points of the other side, regardless of how I may honestly feel, because I don't think you're covering it all. But there was chaos, man, in hoods all over because of the crack trade. And they were also afraid, many people, because of the influx of money and the wealth that was created and the destruction that was created with the crack trade, lots of enterprise and black businesses were opened up. Now, of course, it's on the back of so much suffering and destruction, but there was a cry from the community, and the politicians responded from the cry to the community, even the black politicians, because they felt there was a need. You guys all know what happened. Some of you were younger, but that was a crazy ass period. It's still crazy, but that shit literally destroyed. Like, for instance, Jamaica Queens or Hollis Queens, not Jamaica necessarily, but Hollis Queens. Hollis Queens was a working class community of homeowners. It's actually nice there, with some smattering of projects around. The drug abuse and the drug trade destroyed that area, turned that shit into a war zone, and has never recovered since. So many of the strides that blacks were able to make were erased, and there was a cry from the community to do something about it. And the reactionary way to do something about it is to create these draconian laws. And what made the federal let me just say this one thing. What made the federal 3 strikes law and the crime bill so bad is not necessarily they were punishing criminals and their loose interpretation of conspiracy laws and forfeiture, where they could take your shit and never charge you with the crime. That happened a lot. You take your shit and never charge you with the crime, and you have to prove that you're not a criminal in order to get your shit back. Is that the sentences are outrageous, where it ruins lives. And it's the same thing now with human trafficking laws. They're giving these dudes 30, 40, 50, 60 years. It's the amount of sentences. It's servitude again.
Okay, well, Beasley, like I said, I want to definitely clean up what you were saying as far as the community's outcry. The community was looking for change.
Chris, you're 36-year-old. You were 14, 15, and 16 years old as this law was formed and passed.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. I understand that. It doesn't mean that I'm also a learned man. What I'm saying is, even when looking back on those times, the community, as far as I'm talking about blacks who were suffering and blacks who were asking for help, they weren't asking for the hammer to devastate their community. That's just a white reaction to anything involving blacks. It's severe punishment. And
many people in the community were looking for some action quick. And black people aren't monolithic. And people that worked and had homes and have watched their neighborhoods become destroyed and dangerous because of the crack trade, which turns people into, we know what crack does to people. You know, it turns people into, they'll do anything to get another hit. They'll rob and steal from their own family. The depravity that it caused needed some swift retribution. So yes, we asked for and participated in the formation of these draconian laws.
Well, again,
but on the other hand, and I'll say this also, it's funny how so much dope ended up in the black neighborhood.
There we go. That's what I was just about to go.
No, I'm from Los Angeles. I remember all of a sudden everybody had the sack, and a whole lot of it. Like, damn, where'd you get that from? Oh man, look! Wow, you'd be like, whoa! Everybody that was a square, that was a church boy or some type of hustler, because they'd already wiped out the wave of robbers in the 80s, and then when in the late 70s and the 80s, and then when the early 80s came around, everybody had the sack, and that shit was cheap. Not only was it cheap, if you had some hustle about yourself, and somebody you knew from a neighborhood or knew that you had some hustle about yourself, and you had were somewhat trustworthy. You didn't have to be that trustworthy. Motherfucker, front you some shit.
And it was still new to the market, so you was getting an excellent product on top of it. I remember I would suggest a lot of people to read this book called Deadly Alliance or Dark Alliances by Gary Webb. He's the one who exposed it.
San Jose Mercury Press.
There we go. And I would say that an act of black self-respect is to not buy the book. If you can, steal it. But the fact of the matter is to
he dead now.
Yeah, he's dead. The CIA killed him. But he exposed a lot of that shit. And he started out in the San Jose Press. He has a very thick amount of it dedicated to Freeway Ricky Ross. And he said that California was the launching pad for the crack epidemic, and that Freeway Ricky Ross was one of its chieftains in that. You know, it's
Freeway
him.
Rick had the sack.
It was him. It was another dude that started Death Row.
There's a bunch of dudes.
Michael
Harris was low on that indictment. But one of the main motherfuckers was this young dude named Waterhead Bo. He's a big old fat 300-pound motherfucker, and all of a sudden they was from the hood, deeper, raggedy, had a larger family. Next thing you know, these motherfuckers got the brand new Mercedes, brand new everything. They were having so much money that the apartment building they were living in, they were shuffling the money in and out with like trash bags, right? They had to weigh the money. This was in '87. That the neighbors were complaining because the motherfuckers was leaving trails of 50s, 20s, and 100s all in the elevator. They were just dropping like, oh, fuck, I can get that shit later. Like it was some nickels and dimes dropping on the ground. Waterhead Bo was on the top of that, Brian Bennett, whose lawyer just happened to be David Kenner, who was Death Row's lawyer.
Anybody want to add to this aspect or anything?
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna
I would
tell
like
you
to say
what. When the cat from my neighborhood approached me and said, "Man, you want to get down, Beasley?" I said, "Yeah, I get down." He said, "I'm gonna give you a couple ounces of this here fish scale, man, and you come back and hurry back." Man, we took that shit, went got high and got some bitches.
Oh man, did you have to kill that guy? Because I know that didn't fly.
No, I paid him. Eventually, I paid him and everything. He said, "This just ain't for you." I said, "No, it ain't for me." And I thought that for a period, I thought that I was stupid, that I wanted to party instead of get down for the money move. Luckily, I found something else to do, and them niggas got 30 and 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awful. Go ahead, Haven. Go ahead, drop it.
I was gonna say, thank you, Beasley, for correcting me. Because I thought that the 90 is. Let me correct myself because I kept saying 96. It's 94 crime bill.
Right.
I just thought about it.
It's all right. It's a little timeline. It's no big deal.
Yeah, because the California law you're talking about was passed in 94 also. And this other one. And another thing also, I forgot to mention when I was breaking that down. Does everybody know Joe Biden is the one who wrote the crime bill?
Yes, that's right.
Joe Biden wrote the crime. Right. Bill Clinton just signed it and championed it. But Joe Biden wrote it. The vice president under Obama, he wrote that shit.
That's right.
I'm not surprised.
He was the one who
But it started even before that. It started with Reagan's crime bill. That's where the increase started. It started with Reagan's crime bill in the mid-'80s, I think. Early 80s, mid-'80s. Right. And then from there, even before Biden, it was Bush that delayed signing a crime bill.
Herbert Walker.
And then Clinton signed it. Biden made it or had to do with it. Mm-hmm.
Herbert Walker Bush did a presidential, not a press conference, but he sat at the table. So he gave a speech and he said, right across the street here in Lafayette Park, federal agents picked up, and the motherfucker picked up like 10 ounces cooked hard. They found this across the street. Someone was selling this to someone. Good Lord. Which was a prop and wasn't true. But no, they helped design and create the whole crack trade. And that has set black people back just about more than anything else, because everyone became a victim. The users and the sellers. And I don't even know who became a victim more, because some people were able to come back from their use. Some of those people you see living in tents in your cities to this day. And some of them cats and some of the best and the brightest from the hood chose that path, which is understandable when you can go make 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a day. and are now doing 20 and 30 and 40 years. Some of the best and the brightest. Talk about a lost generation. You know, when Xanatos was talking about my generation dropped the ball, nah, my generation decided to ball. And that's part of the problem. But you don't hear me though. Everybody came to Los Angeles to get the sack. Rayful Edmonds got hooked up with the dude from LA to get the sack. Them niggas from Detroit was coming to LA to get the sack.
That's very true. Yeah. Like I said, Los Angeles definitely was.
If you had the plug and the motherfucker gave you 100 of them things, and you can make 5,000 of things.
It was basically because
you're breaking up, oh brilliant one.
Am I clear? Can you hear me?
Nah.
Okay, yeah, I'm clear.
You got white supremacy in your mouth.
Nah, fuck you. Okay, but what I'm saying is, anybody want to add to that? X-Men, you've been quiet. What about you, Architect? What about E-Money? Anybody else?
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I'll add a little something. And what's interesting about all that is that it happened in succession. It had started happening with, I think it was Nixon. No, not Nixon. It started with the anti-poverty laws in the 60s, which seemed to have come right after the heroin and the meth and all that stuff. Then you go up in time and you get to Reagan and those laws that he did. The Bush delayed signing it, but Clinton and those guys, they signed it. And man, it looks like it's engineered. It looks like it's socially engineered.
Robert, it did start with Nixon. Nixon started with the war on drugs. Remember, Nixon is the one who started the whole idea of a war on drugs, which was really a war on black people. I did a story about that because one of the came out in the middle that they thought war on drugs was just a way to go arrest a bunch of black people.
To play the devil's advocate once again.
Start with Nixon. Okay.
To play the devil's advocate once again, and having. If you would have seen some of the scenes in Uptown, New York, where you would have dope fiends lined up for a block and a half, and the effect of the heroin epidemic on New York City, you would ask for something to be done. It's cause or action effect, except that the response is so heavy-handed and so draconian that people don't understand or don't contemplate what the effect's going to be, because you don't care. You just want it to stop. And Nixon ran on a campaign of law and order. That's because there were riots. It was chaos in '68. And you got a history of riots all over the country, particularly in 1968 after Martin Luther King got killed. Every city went up where there were black people. Every city went up.
Hold on, Beasley. Let me stop you, because what you're going to do is that
no.
You're going to say, hold on. You're going to say that Nixon this whole thing is a reaction to something. Well, no, Nixon invented it and pushed it.
No. This is where white supremacy comes into play. Okay, white supremacy created the system that oppressed black people, where black people are denied equal access to housing, to jobs, to everything. And you create an underclass with a foot on their neck. And then when you combine that with a oppressive police presence that abuses people, it's the same shit that goes on now. It was going on then. And most of those riots started in Detroit. The riots started because the police were heavy-handed and beat somebody up. The riot started in '65 with the police killing a man and attacking a man. It's the same shit. Then you have Bob Dylan put it best: when you ain't got nothing, you got nothing to lose. So white supremacy caused these situations. When you guys speak of white supremacy, this is what white supremacy caused. And then white supremacy reacts. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is where white supremacy fits. It created the whole situation where black people are impoverished and can't get out. Now you can get out, and y'all young motherfuckers are still goddamn complaining.
Well, that's debatable. Haven, go ahead. I know you itching. Somebody's itching to attack that. That's very debatable. Somebody, please. Robert J.
I was gonna say that Beasley is right about the beginning, about what he said about how they create the problems and then they come up with the solutions to the problems that they created. You create you create the ghetto, put the people in the ghetto, the ghetto go to shit, and then you come and say, I will fix this. And then people are so desperate, they ready to go for anything because they don't want to live like this no more. And then you come with this quote unquote solution that makes things even worse. And you could
say Robert J. Okay.
Yeah,
no, go ahead, finish up, Haven. Finish, Haven.
It's the same thing like in Chicago right now. A lot of that violence is a byproduct. Most of the violence is a byproduct of the system.
That's right.
One because they're bringing drugs in. They letting the Sinaloa cartel bring drugs into Chicago, which is causing the violence, and they bring in a lot of violence on the low too. Another thing is they letting the guns flow into Chicago. They know where the guns come from. The guns, most like 40% of the guns come from like a gun store. One gun store, mind you. The ATF reported that it's like 15 miles outside of Chicago.
Indiana.
Yeah, somewhere.
Indiana, Chicago, Illinois and Chicago have some of the strictest gun laws. And right across the border in Indiana, it's pretty loose and liberal as far as obtaining a weapon. But you want to know another factor that plays a big part?
The police.
In Chicago? Well, the police. No. Listen to this. Social media.
Oh.
No, listen.
Yeah.
Young motherfuckers be arguing and talking shit on the net, except in Chicago, it's closer together, and they'll go right over there and shoot a motherfucker. And anybody that knows anything about neighborhood and gang violence, retaliation must be swift and effective. So you create this cycle.
I can see that how social media could be I can see how it's not being utilized, but it really has nothing to do with the violence. But go ahead, Haven.
I feel it plays a part, but more importantly also is that a lot of things is that people don't notice that Chicago, for the most part, is a safe city. A lot of that is media sensationalization. It's a safe city. It's in certain areas that's turned up. And the reason those areas is really, really turned up is because of a police stand down, which is illegal, because most people don't know this also, that Obama sent James Comey, who's the head of the FBI, the director of the FBI, to go to Chicago to investigate why is there so much violence in certain areas. And he came back and reported and said it's because the police stand down in those areas. Other areas where there's no violence, you're gonna get arrested if you try to do certain things. And the police are on it. They're visible, they're patrolling, they're doing their job. Other areas, they have completely stood down. And everybody knows that if people who are in the streets, they focus on the police presence. If people seeing people get shot and don't see a cop not show up for like a half an hour, then you already know what time it is. People know they could get away with like that.
But see, when you talk about Chicago, if you don't count 2015, and for those people who are really into statistics, and statistics aren't everything, but they give you an indicator. Chicago crime, despite a few hiccups, was going down. In 2014, Chicago's crime rate was just as low as it was in the mid-60s. And here's the thing about that. Chicago's crime rate in the mid-60s per capita was on par with the way it was between 1929 and 1931. Black folks were only 5 to 6% of Chicago's population then, and they were responsible for about 5%, if that, of the violent crime. Most of the violent crime was committed by non-Black people, mainly white people. And here's the thing about that. That goes to show that crime or environmental. Folks try to hit us with this genetic nonsense and say that it's a Black problem. No, crime is more so socio-environmental. There are so many reasons for crime. You know, you got the poverty, you got you got ignorance or a lack of education, and you got low economic opportunities. All these things can make for crime. If you look at Chicago now, right now, the crime rate is no different or on par with the way it was in the 70s. If you look at all this, if you look at it properly, instead of allowing media or what they call rudimentary pragmatics to judge on Chicago, it's not as bad as it's actually looking. It only looks bad to people who are disconnected and don't know the entire story, don't know the full context and the relative context. It's not that bad.
I know, like I said, like it's media sensationalization, and you made a perfect point about that, because in Chicago they used to have a spot they used to call like certain parts of Chicago where black people live now. They used to call it the jungle, and it was where Polish immigrants lived, and it was very violent, very bad, and all that, and all this other stuff. Like they was turned up, they was poor, they was disenfranchised, and it was turned up. I think it's called the jungle. It's called the jungle.
And more proof to that, you can just go back as soon as the immigrants from Europe that the United States basically campaigned for to come over here to displace the trained professional black working class that existed. Because you got to imagine we're fresh out of slavery, so who could be the carpenters, the builders, the farmers? You know, we had those skills. And before white people would dare let us empower ourselves through our own labor, they'd rather cross the Atlantic and bring whites over. So anyway, I said all that to say that you look at those people when they first got to Ellis Island and the neighborhoods that they created, it was gang central. You know what I'm saying? And it was every any white immigrant group that came here engaged in violence, and drug dealing and crime. And so this isn't a something that's innate in DNA and just black people. It is more or less, it is the environment completely. If you grew up around Crips, it's no wonder that you're a fucking Crip. If you grew up around lawyers, it's no wonder that you're a professional. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes to show you. But the difference between them and us is that they were allowed to be gangsters and police officers and firefighters, and their kids are allowed to be lawyers and doctors and, you know, vice versa. Whereas those doors were immediately and have always been closed to us. And that's why it's a cyclical, perpetual position of misery for the black populace. Because no matter where you go, the one thing we all have in common, we're from all different parts of America, and we even got some dirty foot foreigner in here, is that the language that we all speak is poverty.
Right.
So with that being stated, I wasn't raised around the best people. And quite frankly, I don't want to brag about my position, but I turned out to be something completely different than a lot of people in my family did. Now, there were some people who were successful, who did their thing, who were making money or whatever. But for the most part, when it comes to at least my immediate family, or rather should I say extended family, a lot of them just let poverty get to them to the point in which they ended up just repeating the cycle. Now, I believe that there is a structure that keeps certain people down. Don't get me wrong. That's foolish to say, deny, and to say that it doesn't exist. It's just, it's just foolishness at best. But with that, I think what a lot of black people are afraid to do is to essentially get above their rising, mostly because a lot of blacks see that, a lot of them are just afraid to stand on their own 2 feet in order to get socially ostracized. I think that's what a lot of this shit comes down to. I mean, look at school. You all remember middle school, high school, it was the black people who made the straight A's, who were called cornballs, sellouts, Uncle Toms, all that shit. It extended through college, it extends through the workforce within the black community. There's a certain standard that blacks have to abide by, and that standard is summarized by the lowest common denominator, who can act the most ratchet. And I know this doesn't apply to all blacks, but if you live the quote-unquote black experience, it was all about how much of a victim you are, or how much you hated white, or how much you could do
hold on.
stereotype, essentially.
That's Xanatos. That's Xanatos, the coon.
What?
Doing his thing. You doing it. You doing it. No, you're funny.
I want to respond to that.
Make me laugh. Well, can I say one thing real quick?
Yes, sir.
Nigga, what the fuck is rudimentary pragmatics? I've been on mute.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I fucked up.
You know what? If I've learned adaptive inference, I need to at least learn this.
I fucked up. Well, rudimentary pragmatics
is basic pragmatism, right? It's rudimentary, meaning entry level.
Hold on.
Pragmatism. Oh, goddamn it! Let Robert J. Powell ask the man a
I'm
question.
trying to write it down, motherfucker, so I can learn it. That's the difference between me and you motherfuckers.
Well, I already knew it.
Knowing shit. Because I try to understand shit that I don't fucking know. And don't nobody on here know what the fuck rudimentary pragmatics is.
Yeah, I just defined it. But go ahead, Robert J.
The fucking teaching moment, motherfucker.
Go ahead,
you know what?
Robert.
And this defeats exactly what Xanatos is saying. Because I was the exact same fucking way in school. I would stop the fucking class and want to know what the fuck the teacher said. Because I didn't understand what that was. And I would write the fucking shit down and learn it. Drop the ball.
Well, even speaking about,
I ain't dropped no ball. I got a cross on it, man, with about 3 carats of diamonds in this.
Whoa! The fellatio's heavy right now. Self-fellatio's heavy, man. The alarm's going off.
Proud of. Bye. All right, go ahead. Tell me what it is, please.
Well, rudimentary pragmatics is just it's where you use simple visualizations and practical things and regard them as the truth. It actually goes hand in hand with abductive thinking. And that's what a lot of us do. That's how we're judging black people. We're judging black people with abductive thinking. We're basing everything.
All right. Take it from the top and keep it real simple. I'm trying to write it down. Okay. You give me too many words. Okay. You're using simple, practical, visual things.
Yes, it's how people
accepting that as the norm.
That are accepted as fact.
Okay.
Or true. So it's where we look at, and it happens with a lot of disconnected people. And they can still be sincere and good people and still very productive in life, but they can be disconnected when it comes to
like knowledge of, it was your environment.
Okay,
I had an Indian friend that had a shop downtown Los Angeles. All he saw was black crackheads downtown. And he says, black people are garbage people. I'm like,
you see, yeah, it's stuff like that.
I was offended like a motherfucker. I wanted to fight. Then I said, you know what? You're just ignorant because you're down here in this fucking world and these are only black people you see. Here, let's take a ride up here into View Park. These are doctors and lawyers and gangsters and everything else. These are black people that have made it, that have houses on the hills with beautiful views. He said, I never knew they had black people like this. He said, the only black people I thought were like this were basketball players. No. That's what he thought, because that's the world that he lived in.
Yeah, I think that was an extreme example of anti-blackness by even thinking that you got to prove something to this low-life foreigner. Fuck him.
No,
anyway, Robert J.
He was my neighbor, and he was ignorant, and it was my job to teach him.
You should have told him, hey man, if you see the print, suck it through the jeans. Robert J. Go ahead.
I would never tell any man that.
In short, that's what rudimentary pragmatics is. You're looking at everything. You're saying everything that the media is saying. If the media shows you some pictures and put a false narrative on it, you're going to believe it. And before you know it, because you're all
Robert J. Address X-Men. X-Men. You had a problem with what X-Men said. Go in that direction.
Oh yeah. What he said was very anecdotal. It was based on his personal experiences and maybe the experiences, shared experiences of other people. And this is where a lot of people misjudge black people, because you have 4.5 to 5 times more black people. You have 4.5 to 5 times. What is it again? There are 4.5 to 5 times more black people
in college
with some form of education
than in jail,
and incarcerated. And you have at least 12 times as many black people who have some form of occupational training than are incarcerated. So people aren't looking at the facts. And here's something else for you. If you were to combine all athletes in certain sports, like football, basketball, and the NCAA, irregardless of color, combine them all, and then take a look at the Bureau of Labor and Statistics data on blacks with degrees, you got more blacks with degrees than you got them. So the picture is being distorted by media, and people are educated by media. Here's something that I used to always do. I always say this because I have a brother who's older than me. I have a brother that's 49, and he doesn't like dealing with black people. He'd rather deal with a racist white person than a black person. He misjudges them because of their provincial mannerisms. You know, a lot of, and I'm gonna put under provincial mannerisms just to give it some definition. I'm gonna put, you have lots of black people who have, like L. Dot, the minstrel, who have like a lot of hood booger culture inside of them, or hood booger mannerisms. You have a lot of black people who, you know, they who have very street, very ghetto, very hood mannerisms. But guess what? Most of them are still good people. People, it's just hard to see if you had some bad experience, like if you got knocked upside your head a lot, it's hard to see that. If you were already disconnected, it's hard to see that. So a lot of people are just judging people based on class. They're judging the minute they see someone who looks a certain way, they automatically presume there's something bad or wrong with them. Now, I'm not saying there's no math to that. I'm not saying that if you keep hanging with a certain group of people, that there's a chance that something can happen. But the truth is, irregardless of being hood or street or ghetto, those are just mannerisms. Those
spectacular vernacular with more game than you count. That pork and beans more flavor than an hour later.
Hey, we can't hear you, Beasley. What are you doing?
Yeah. I couldn't hear you.
One of the most exciting things ever to hit your show and other shows on Blog Talk Radio. They call me a legend. They call me a legend.
Beasley, what the? Are you talking to us?
All right. I don't know if it's good or bad, but they.
Okay.
No, he's not.
Beasley muted. Hey, Xanatos, did you hear what Robert J said, man? Do you have any response to that?
He's muted. You gotta take him off the mute.
No, what? Well, see, on this side, all I can do is put.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Nope. I was muting myself.
Okay.
So what Robert J said about essentially people who went through bad experiences but are good people. Yeah, there are some people who have been affected by poverty and they have this hood mentality about them, but they're harmless people like L-Dot, whatever, and some of these other guys. However, what I've noticed in the black community is that while these people are given all sorts of excuses for their fuckery, people like myself, who may have had different experiences and came out, quote unquote, cooning, we don't get that leniency from the overall collective of the black community, for starters. And second, yes, there are more black men or more black people who are in college and they're working than in jail and prison. Yes, we all know that. However, the same black people who are, quote unquote, working or in college still hold on to this mentality that those who are the worst should be pushed to
breaking up.
Not pushed, should be celebrated, the most celebrated, or at the very least defended. While those who made their way through life, if it wasn't through a collective way, such as going through an HBCU or getting some sort of hookup within the black community, or doing it the black way via making a rap album, or there's a black way of success. And if you don't do it the black way, you're considered a coon, a sellout, an Uncle Tom, all sorts of things. I've heard it time and time again. And I'm from a place that is very black and pretty affluent, and the same people hold on to the same mentality as the people in any average hood would. So regardless of the education rate of what blacks have experienced in this country, a lot of them still hold on to that mentality that you have to act a certain way, talk a certain way, and think a certain way, lest you be seen worse as a rapist, murderer, and pedophile.
No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that, and that's a genetic fallacy. That's a genetic fallacy.
Okay. All right, Xanatos, you got one more person who wants to address you. E-Money, you want to go ahead and say something to that?
You know, I agree with what Xanatos said to an extent. I mean, there is a cultural view of how black people are supposed to behave. And if you don't behave a certain way, then you're white or something stupid like that. And the fact is, we live in a society, we have acceptable behavior in society. Whether or not you live that way is up to you. And your level of success is going to be influenced by how you behave as well as what you know and who you know. I mean, You act like a street rat, you're gonna get treated like a street rat. And that's just how it is. I don't care if you're offended. I don't care how you feel about it. And saying, well, I should be able to act who I am, be who I am, and blah, 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 is only true up to a certain extent. And that's just
Well, see, I would want to go ahead, E, finish up, E. Hold on. Go ahead, finish. And then Haven, you.
And I'm gonna say this: the people who are in power and those who are the people that set the rules. And if you want to be the one to set the rules and have it the way you are, then you need to get in power.
Okay, Haven, go ahead.
I was gonna say that the points that were being made were also still anecdotal. It's about people's personal experience, because a lot of the stuff that people are talking about, that's personal experience. There's over 45 million blacks in America. Trust me, do not. That's not the way it's seen. Because one, I grew up around black people who didn't see see it that way at all. Who encourage people to read, who encourage people to go to school. I got my on my father's side of the family, we got people in the military, got people working in real estate, the healthcare profession, law enforcement, everything. Nobody was ever discouraged. So it's about perspective. Because if that view was true, that most black people saw that you had to act like a hood and do this and do that, trust me, the statistics wouldn't look the way they look. If most people on a pedestal on any level, you would not have so many more people with jobs and stuff like that, because that's not going to be tolerated as a job, and you're not going to get far with that mentality. You're going to be like L-Dot. You're not going to be like an engineer. You're not going to have a neighborhood where you have an super affluent neighborhood, and everybody's thinking like L-Dot and thinking like we're going to sag our pants or whatever the case may be, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. That's all anecdotal. Majority of black people do not think like that.
That's right. That's right.
Or behavior. That's why it's so easy for white people to come in with this blacks versus niggas shit and get other black people to fight each other. How do they do it? They tell a bunch of black people, you see those black people right there? They bad, they the niggas and all that, but you the good esteemed black people. You need to roll with us and help us get laws passed to get them. And then what do? They roll with them, they vote for them, they promote them, they have their back, and then when that law get passed, it affects all black people, whether you a quote unquote nigga or you quote unquote black. That's how they always do it. Like we was just talking about the crime bill. The crime bill was supported unanimously among educated blacks with who are in politics, blacks who are in law enforcement. They all supported it because they saw that crime bill was only gonna get them niggas. But then they seen that it hurt all black people, because when your nephew gets locked up for for some little stupid shit, now he's facing 10 years in prison, and it's like, whoa, like come on, like it's not supposed to be that way, and it's like, no, it is that way, and it's like the white kid who gets locked up for that same shit is getting hit on the slap on the wrist, but your kid is being hit with the 10 years. And it's not, and you say it's like it's not supposed to be that way. He's only supposed to do this for the niggas. He's good. He has a future. He made a mistake. It's not going to happen again. But he's still going down for it. That's that black versus niggas mentality is what gets us every time.
Right.
That gets us every time. The black versus niggas. That's how white people come in, because you got so many black people in a bubble who think that they special because they can read. They special because they actually don't engage in quote unquote hood culture, or because they have standards. Too many black people think they special because of that. I would like to tell a lot of black people, you're not special because you can read. The majority of black people can read. You're not special because you graduated from school. The majority of black people graduated from school. You're not special because you're not on welfare.
But I would also argue, though, I mean, you saying those people feel that way because of white people. I would also argue that the people who do worship and live the thug mentality and love thug lifestyle or hood lifestyle, or however you want to say it, also cause it, because they look at sideways at people who have made it, who are black, simply because they've made it. It ain't got nothing to do with how they were treated by those people. They look at them and they go, well, they ain't trying to bring me up, so I don't like them. But they don't know what those people are doing.
Yes, that's what I say. It's not mutually exclusive. It's both. We got one, because nobody's talking to each other. Everybody's just thinking. We got one group of black people sitting on this side thinking that, like I said again, thinking that they special and they in their own little world and they do this and they so good and they so positive. We got the other group of black people looking at black people who are quote unquote successful, saying that y'all coons, y'all only got that way because of because y'all must have been cooning for the white man, and you ain't trying to help me come up. I'm fucked up out here. What you doing for me? And then we got everybody fighting against each other. You got everybody attacking each other, and you know, the racists, the real white racists, exploit that because once you got all these schisms, you can be exploited. You can play one small group against the other.
But Javen, here's the thing about it, Javen. As far as the blacks versus nigga thing is concerned, let's take the side, and I'm assuming you're probably on the side that white people are basically after blacks. They want to hold blacks back, all this stuff. Wouldn't it be beneficial for white people to have niggas outbreed blacks? With that being stated, I mean, look at the non-ghetto. Yeah, division isn't the best way to get things done or the progress as a race. I get that. However, the thing about it is this. When it comes to the blacks versus niggas schism, do you think whites are the ones that are really pushing it? If they're all racist and if they all just want all blacks to act like quote-unquote niggas? No, trust me. Whites, true racist whites are more pissed off at blacks who are non-ghetto, whether they're the majority or minority, than they are at your everyday little twin man nigga. Trust me. They hate people like me more than they hate people like L. Dot.
Well, see, that's a part of the problem there, because I believe it was Edward Fraser that wrote a book called Black Bourgeoisie, and he spoke about these types of class distinctions where you separate yourself based on class and other genetic fallacies, which are all based on anecdotes and maybe bad experiences of one person or shared bad experiences, and you start making those shared bad experiences facts. That's kind of petty, because it's kind of petty because when you really, really, really look at it, and he exposed that in his book, Black Bourgeoisie. So did Franz Fanon in his book, Black Skin, White Mask, or White Mask, Black Skin. He exposed the dangers of trying to make certain class distinctions and then trying to come around and hang these people just because they had provincial mannerisms. So I do agree with Jaden that you don't hang people just because, in the court of public opinion, just because they have these provincial mannerisms. Believe it or not, those mannerisms is what enabled them to survive in certain environments.
Man.
And most of those people are good people.
How dare you read books and quote from books that are written by authors like Franz Fanon and the other person that you mentioned? No wonder Lamar called you a coon. You fucking coon.
We dealt with that though, Beasley. I just dealt
no,
with that.
I'm making a joke. I'm making a joke. Here that you have somebody
He was being sarcastic.
quoting literary sources of illustrating, you know, ideals or thoughts, and you know, up against somebody that think that the world is fucking flat.
Yeah. You know what? That's strike two, Robert J. Don't let no more smart shit happen, or I gotta let you go. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that, like, it's to speak to Xanatos about the blacks and the niggas thing. They don't, the people who are really out, who really don't like black people, they hate you all. It's like it's not about, they don't segregate black. Like, black people make those segregations among themselves. Like when white people say ghetto, that's a euphemism. I mean, that's not a that's a synonym for black. They're not thinking ratchet or something like that. I had to explain to people before with this quote unquote ghetto names nonsense. It's like when white people say ghetto name, they talking about any name or name pattern that lets them know that you're black before they even see you.
Black people do it too, though, Jay.
I know.
Hold on. No, and I ain't gonna lie. I do it.
No, that's what I'm getting to.
Beasley, let him finish. Let him finish.
I'm talking about this is a part of it. When black people say ghetto, we talking about a specific group of black people. When white people say ghetto, they talking about all black people. That's a skit.
Black culture as a whole, right? Anything and everything black. You're right.
Hey, Beasley, let him finish.
I'm agreeing with him.
Right, I know, but you're next.
Yeah, and this is how they exploit that schism. This is what they do. They get all the blacks who have that ghetto, you mean ghetto as in black, as in, ghetto as in like certain name patterns. Because I'm gonna use hiring as an example. They hire those blacks. They flood HR with those blacks. And this is what those blacks do. They see names like Shaniqua and stuff like that. They throw those resumes in the garbage. When they see names like Raven, Jamal, they think those are not ghetto names, those are regular names. Like Tariq Nasheed said, he said, don't name your son Frequan, give him an Islamic name like Jamal. And it's like, do you know that Jamal is the most stereotypical, quote unquote, ghetto name to white people? When they want to say, when they see a black person, they be like, that's a Jamal or something like that. And it's like, you come through, you have the black people, they do the bidding, they get rid of all those resumes, and then they have white people on the back end who gets rid of those Jamal resumes and all that, and that prevents black people from being hired because they exploiting the blacks versus nigga. They bring your black ass here, say, hey, you gonna make sure that none of those, they know, they're not even gonna tell you, they just know it's understood by the way you move it. They're gonna know that you're gonna automatically flush out all those Taekwon resumes and all those Trayvon resumes, and then you're gonna let the Jamals and the other ones, and they're gonna handle that on the back end, and then nobody, and a lot of qualified blacks don't get hired. And then when the federal government goes to them, because you know they're gonna be like, hey, y'all didn't hire a lot of black people. They're gonna be like, what? They weren't a lot of qualified black people. Look at our HR department; it's majority black, or blacks or the plurality. If they were actually qualified blacks, don't you think that they would have made it through? How could we be racist? And that's how they get away with not hiring a lot of black people. They exploit that schism of blacks versus niggas mentality, and they use it as a shield. I don't mean to rant, and you know, but
Chris Rock changed his stance on that whole black versus niggas thing.
Yeah, within the last, I think, year or two, he changed that. But again, he's one of the he really lit a fire under that shit because he had a lot of black people saying, yeah, that's right, and that shit is dangerous. We got to be more responsible with our platforms. But go ahead, Beasley.
Damn, I didn't know that they changed the stereotypical black name to Jamal from Leroy.
Yeah, and it's,
I guess, it used to be Leroy.
Yeah, it used to be Leroy, then it was Jamal, now it's Daquan. And the reason they switched it to Daquan because that's more in line with the black versus nigga crowd. Because if they use Jamal, they'd be like, hey, Jamal isn't a ghetto name. My name is Jamal. It's like, no.
Let me ask you this. Does a black parent marginalize their child's chances for are they giving
their kids
are they giving their child a handicap by naming them J. Marquavius or whatever as compared to naming him John?
Well, unfortunately, black people haven't reacted to racism appropriately, and we're still begging whites for jobs. So under that pretense, we are handicapping ourselves because we're having to put our hat in hand and say, hey, white man, give me a job. If we built our own, then we can name ourselves whatever the fuck we want. Because you don't see Ryu Shinogen of the Japanese culture having a problem getting a job because he can apply with his own people and work.
You know, that's one thing I like about the conscious sector. Them brothers, they name themselves whatever they want. I am General Allah Sultan Sete. I am Pharaoh God. That's why I want to be Bishop Beasley, man, and make my move over there and shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, Chris, I agree with you too. But it's like
I want one of them leather aprons and a sword and some fucking Viking horns like the Hebrew Israelites wear.
But yeah, Chris, I agree with you. But people also got to know that there's steps above that, because I was also that's what I was breaking down about. Because people take that argument and just leave it at the names, and they don't understand. It's not just about names; it's about black. They don't want to hire black people because there's a second level of discrimination. After they go through the names, they go through the zip code. It's called zip code discrimination because they white people have become hip to that trick that black people are naming their kids with name patterns that you wouldn't be able to tell that was a white or black person. Because if somebody's resume says John Smith, you don't know if that's a white person. You don't know if it's a black person. But John Smith that name pattern wouldn't stop that resume from going through. So what they do after that is that they look at the zip code, and if they type in that zip code and they see that's a 75%, 85% black neighborhood, resume in the garbage.
Javen.
Resume in the garbage.
You know how many black people, at least in Los Angeles during an era when I was cutting my teeth in the working world, have been able to leave all that bullshit behind. Los Angeles, for a point, was one of the homes of the boiler room. And a boiler room is, for lack of a better term, is a boiler room. It's an office, a large office with a large number of phones where they're out there pushing and selling products. some of dubious credentials at any rate, but many a brother, many, me included, got in those rooms, learned some viable skills, okay, got on the plate and applied our trade, and there was no ceiling. There may have been some racist shit that went on, but there was no ceiling. You, for the dollars that you brought in, you got your cut, you got your commission, and it wouldn't matter if your wouldn't matter what your name was. There was a brother that used to have fucking pink hair, look crazy as fuck. Sometimes we're wearing a mohawk. He was the type of motherfucker that would wear feathers in his earrings. Cool, small diction, and a cold-blooded closer. And I watched him make $50,000 in a week. I'm saying all that to say people shouldn't be hung up on all the obstacles. Don't focus on the obstacles. Try to find your way through. Be clever, think, find your way through. It can be done still.
I know, Beasley.
I know that you know. You don't speak in defeatist terms, but so many speak in defeatist terms. Chris.
Oh wait, I got one question. Who is Marcus G? Because he said I don't know what I'm talking about because he been on interviews and he never had this problem. First of all, you dumbass, that's what we was just talking about. Anecdotal, you stupid fuck. Just because your ass never had a problem doesn't mean that there isn't a problem.
Yeah, he's
for
using
the collective.
He's doing abductive reasoning. Let me ask you this, Javen. Would you hire Vic Damone? Would you hire Vic Damone to? Hold on. Would you hire Vic Damone to be an office manager of a business that you ran? Make sure all the paperwork and filing and appointments and everything got done.
Because I'm black and I'm on my pro-black shit. If Vic Damone could do the job, I would hire him because I understand also because I used to also help people with interviews, teaching them how to dress and stuff like that for interviews. I know a lot of black people don't understand how to dress appropriately, how to conduct themselves properly on an interview.
I think so your generation in general, and I think a lot of that comes from
it's not just black people because the people who work for doing it. It was white kids there, even some Asian kids. People didn't know how to dress for an interview. They didn't know how to do because remember back in the days I remember I'm an old soul, but I'm young enough to remember a time when you could just go apply for a job. They got a help wanted sign in the window. You just come in and say, yo, can I speak to the manager? Y'all hiring? But can I get this job? And you move like that. But now every job wants to treat the interview process like you trying to go work at a bank.
Hurdles, right? No, give you 4 or 5 interviews to get a little punk ass, hardly better than minimum wage job.
You're right. I remember my first job.
Basics, you're making a good point, but the basics, and I'm talking about the basics of looking someone in the eye and giving them a firm handshake and speaking with some confidence is lacking in so many people. I'm just talking about the basics. Interviewing, looking someone in the eye, not looking away, not looking down, being attentive, a firm handshake, simple shit like that can make the difference between you getting the job and the other guy getting the job. But I think a lot of that shit starts at home.
Yeah, it does. Because when I was getting trained by people who taught me how to actually go on an interview, I had to learn a lot of stuff. They like you looking away too much. Know what you're gonna say. Be clear. Don't be and just like speak. Be clear. Make eye contact. Make sure you firm. Sit up straight. Don't be fidgeting. Don't be looking around for stuff. Make sure you're ready to go and just talk to the person and make sure you answer in complete sentences and like don't answer in one-word sentences and stuff like that. No matter if it's even if it's a yes or no question, give the yes or give the no and give an explanation after that.
Here's another beauty of the sales profession, and we'll call it the boiler room world, and learning real sales techniques is that you could actually make some of those mistakes and you'll still get a shot because it's a commission job. You get out of it what you put into it. You're as good as the money that you bring in. and it wouldn't matter who you were. If you brought money in, you're welcome. You were tolerated. Your eccentricness was tolerated because no one that was really successful that did well was what you would call a normal run-of-the-mill person. Everybody was a bit eccentric. When I hear people with diction like Styles, and I see some of the way, you know, choices or everything, I was like, dang, had you had some of the opportunities that were available to me, things could be a whole lot different. And just by being able to know how to speak and have some hustle about yourself. But that landed on deaf ears.
No, the eccentricism part is the reason why I probably sucked in sales, but go on.
No. I'm not saying being eccentric is what makes you good at sales, but some of the good closers that I've known have been eccentric, and we get to call them eccentric and not weird, because when you start making money, you're not weird no more. You're not an off-brand. You're just eccentric. You're different. You're far more accepted with money if you have, you know, a little weird way of dressing and you're just eccentric. That's the only difference.
No, I get what you're saying.
Another, they would call you a bum.
You're definitely right about that, because people that tolerate you in sales, if you're only, like you said, you're only as good as the money you bring in. Just like athletes, people tolerate a lot of shit that athletes do that they would never tolerate, whether black or white, because they can produce on the field. But like when people working out like static, I don't want to say static jobs, but like, you know, you're working like as an accountant for a company, like they're not tolerating that shit.
No, well,
unless your partner.
You gotta walk. Yeah, well, if you start to count it, but the way to become a partner or owner is to have once been a Indian before you become a chief. More than likely you'd have to have worked your way up through the ranks where you understand and have knowledge enough of the business completely, where you can attract clients and service the clients enough so that they're happy enough to stay with you, and that you get more clients and you build something. Well, what would I know?
Hey, well, listen, everybody, man, I think this was a very constructive conversation. I'm going to close on that note because Beasley asked the perfect question, what does he know? And let's leave it open. Let's leave it ... I fill in that blank, nothing. Everybody, man, appreciate y'all showing up, man. Moneybags, Haven, Robert J. Powell. Hey, Robert J., man, this is proof that the bum is scared of you. He didn't come up here and face you like a man. He'd rather scream and yell and just, you know, go nuts in his little area, his little hovel. So this is further proof, man, that you're his superior.
But
Beasley.
Check this out. I didn't mean to stop. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll let it go.
No, go ahead.
Here's the thing. That might be true, or he could just be busy. But he decided that because Tommy was on a timeline, that's the reason why I haven't been at the show. That is something's wrong with the man's head.
Wow. Newports and Folgers will fuck anybody up. What's going down, Sonic, man? I'm sorry you had to tail into this. Hey, Xanatos, I appreciate you bringing in your perspective, man. Even though it wasn't the popular perspective, you're man enough to face it and take on contradicting points. Yeah, I'm about to wrap this. I've been on for like 3 hours now.
Xanatos, one more time. Xanatos, I want you to embrace the nigga in you.